Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Pete. How you doing? What's happening? How's your Wednesday been? How's your week been? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the pit. We got a fun show for you today. Got some great people on, and we're gonna do a lot of things, but we're gonna take care of some stuff because we got to chat about stuff. We already got people jumping in and hanging out, but we're gonna talk to them in a minute. First things first. If you're watching this on Facebook, follow that link right there, wherever my finger is, and let StreamYard, which is the broadcasting software that we use, tell people, let them know that you can see your comments so we can see what you're talking, because we want you involved in the conversation. We want to hear you. We want you to talk to us. We want to engage with you. We want to hear the fun stuff you have to say, even if you tell us, that we suck, whatever. I don't care. I mean, you're not, because we're awesome, but hey, it's okay. We want you to do that. We also want to thank everybody who's over on the Twitch TV, Peat11717. We appreciate y'all. Trying to build up that channel a little bit, make that the home for this, and it's going to become the home for a lot of live drawing that I'm going to be doing coming up soon. I have a schedule starting. Looks like it's going to be Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays, and looks like it's going to be at 8 o'clock on Facebook, and then 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock on Twitch. That's all live, so you guys can come check that out and have fun. That'll be fun. I hope it'll be fun for you anyway. Now, when I'm drawing, I want you guys to know that there's always deals. $10 sketches and $40 sketch covers. And if you buy a sketch cover, it comes with a free drawing. And if you buy a $10 sketch, I'm going to throw in a freebie too. And just so everybody knows, and this is exclusive for everybody watching the pit, I'm going to start doing, because if you've ever seen me at a show with Fat Guy Inc., you know that I like to do giveaways. I'll also like to do a thing called mystery bags. Mystery bags are awesome. I love mystery bags. And I haven't done them in a while. So we are going to bring those back. But I'm going to do them as mystery boxes that I'm going to send to you guys. And once I figure out some logistics on those, we'll get it done and we'll make it happen. But while we're on it, I know the comments are already going crazy. Someone's trying to sell me followers. That's awesome. More people trying to sell me followers. That's fantastic. Damn, lots of people trying to sell me followers. Hey, Phil, what's going on? Phil's here, everybody. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring on one of the homies first, because he's been sitting there. He had his smoke break. He had his chill out time. It's time to bring him in. The son of the Saint Angel, what's going on?
What the deal, brother? What's going on?
You know how it is. Normally, we would also have another homie in the background. Jay would normally be here, but he got that parent-teacher thing going on. So we're going to give him a... Yeah, he got
daddy.
He's daddy right now, so we're gonna let him handle his business. What's going on, bro? How do you think? How things been so far?
Everything has been amazing. I've been in full work mode now with the new job. Awesome TV network called the Doe TV Network. You guys are gonna check that out in January when it drops to all VODs. I am creating content for that network. Some artwork, some storyboarding, some sketching. You know how it goes.
Yes, that's a gallery. Yeah, I know exactly how that goes.
Hydrate or die.
That's it, man. I'm just Jesus. It's crazy.
Phil,
now,
what's up?
Yeah, Phil's in there hanging out and chilling.
Chad's
in there. Chad, what's going on? Chad just picked up. Chad's over in Canada, and he was in my live the other day, and we're going to be doing a Spawn sketch cover for him. But it's a pretty cool idea, so I can't wait to handle that. Now, I know you've been busy. You had some new stuff. And the Versus series is the Worlds Collide is coming back soon.
Yep. We're gonna do the last 10 rounds of that series, and I've been kind of lagging a little bit on it because that will be the last 10 rounds of the series, and then we will create something new. Cool. But for right now, we're gonna get that going. I'm actually gonna get the voting going tomorrow. So tomorrow, you guys will see on my page, I'll be asking you guys for some names, and we're going to drop those names. And later on in the evening, we will do a drawing, to pull all the battles.
Now, you're doing that in conjunction with Raphael, the Written Raph from Bit and Apple. Okay.
Yes, sir. And he is the last 10 rounds of that. And we're going to be introducing a character that he has brought to light. He has developed this character as far as backstory, and I'm just going to create the concept on that character, and she will be the big bad that has put all this together, that has made all this stuff, all these different characters, and
give everybody an idea. When
Yes.
Worlds Collide, Angel and Raph have been working together on putting these characters together, and it's pretty cool because Angel picks them all at random. It's like total random combos. Like, let's see if we can get one of the, Hawkeye and Thanos. Like, really? It's like, okay, that's cool. But where's the one? Yeah, here we go.
That's a random one. That's definitely a random
completely random. Hulk Hogan and the Violator. It's just,
I ask people to just give me names from different universes, different TV shows or whatever, and we just put them together. Because it started with I was getting bored with the stuff I was doing, and I just technique wise it helps me because obviously you got to try to like that Captain Planet, for instance. Like I had to kind of conceptualize what he would look like in that world. It doesn't look like the normal cartoon version.
Cartoon, right? Yeah.
I had to take certain creative liberties to kind of pair people off, especially with that Macho Man versus Pinhead. This thing, I'm hoping the La Borinqueña, Miranda will see that. So, which he has, but he has seen it and he's shared it times. So I just want to do the variant cover, bro. That's all.
Don't we all? I want to give a quick shout out really fast to my buddy Larry. He is the writer and creator of the comic book Niobe. They went live on Kickstarter last night, and in 7 hours he fully funded, which is pretty freaking dope. So congratulations there, buddy. I wanted to make sure because he's getting ready to go on his show and talk to his fans and thank everybody. So I couldn't be there, so I want to give him a quick little virtual hug and a virtual high five and let him know, congratulations, buddy. I appreciate that. Now, we got lots of stuff. We're not going to wait for Jay. We're just not. It's just not going to happen. What do you think?
He'll be in soon.
I'm not worried about it. He'll probably be like the relief pitcher. This will piss him off. He can be like, one of those good Yankees out of the bullpen. Because I know that's going to piss him off because he's a Mets fan. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in Miranda, Rainments by Miranda. Hello, darling. How are you? She's muted.
How are you?
How are things? Now,
Things are great. Things are great. I just went back to work.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Fun times.
I know. It's great. I kind of miss doing full-time art, though.
Fair.
It was a dream.
That's totally fair. Now, for those of you that don't know, Miranda is a talented seamstress. Seamstress is the right way to say it. Yeah? And she's also a talented cosplayer. And we're going to talk about those things in a little bit. But what have you been up to lately, cos and seamstress-wise?
Seamstress-wise, I've been making masks like every single day. I started doing a market over in Greenpoint in Brooklyn. And I brought them just to kind of see how it would go. And it went really well. So I'm trying to kind of build that up. That's kind of like my main focus right now. So yeah, I make like cosplay masks. I make regular masks. I make custom masks.
These guys right here?
Yes.
Very awesome.
Yes. So I've been working really hard on those. I've been working on a website to have an online shop to put those up. So that's like been my main focus. I have some cosplay projects that I've been like meaning to start, but then I start thinking of more masks to make. And then all of a sudden I was like, 3 days have passed. I haven't done it yet. So that's my main focus.
This maybe.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm actually going to revisit this one and shoot it again with Eddie. Yeah.
So let me ask you, when you're creating a cosplay, outfit, do you begin with an initial sketch? Do you know what kind of materials you want to use? Like, give me an idea of like what your process is through like creating some of these cosplays that you put together.
Okay. So a lot of what I do is like based off of either mostly anime shows, TV things. So I'll probably rewatch the series just to kind of see the costume over and over. I went to FIT for costume design a couple years back. So I kind of just apply that knowledge where I'm like, that suit drapes this way. And I know like a lot of clothes in animes especially are like extremely unrealistic. So I kind of like have to sketch out like, okay, how am I going to make this fit a real person? Because, like clothes don't defy gravity like they do in TV.
And I'm sure it's comfortable, then, right?
Yeah. And then I'll start to like plan out the patterning. So I generally, the most time I spend on a cosplay is like making the patterns. So I'll either like make them from scratch or I'll drape it or I'll get a pattern and I'll like edit it. So I kind of like just clear out my whole living room and like get that set up. That's kind of like the most troublesome part about it. is the patterning. And then I sew. I'm a pretty fast sewer, so I'll get it all done relatively quickly. And then, and that's kind of like the process.
So I guess my next question would be: have you ever done a cosplay in which you've had a fan come up to you and say it was inaccurate or it didn't?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first Comic-Con I ever went to was in 2013, and it went as Lara Croft, and I kind of like just threw it together. And she has like a hatchet, but I couldn't find a hatchet in time, so I just like got like a fake axe, and I was walking around with it, and some guy was like following me around for like 20 minutes, like, "Hey, like, you know, she doesn't carry around a bloody axe, it's a hatchet." And I'm like, "I know." Sorry. Gatekeeping.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Well, you know, like I don't make them for them, so it's not all gonna be screen accurate. Like Faye Valentine, like her boobs defy gravity. Like you just can't do it. So you gotta adjust things.
She's drawn that way.
I know. Listen.
Look,
Hard.
I understand.
Can't please everybody.
I hear you. Now I'm gonna bring in. I was debating which one of these guys I was gonna bring in next, but I'm gonna bring in Mr. Edwin because he's hard at work too. Edwin, how you doing?
Man? I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
Doing all right. Again, Edwin, Angel, Miranda, you guys met before, but I figured I'll do the polite thing on the TV stream, whatever this is. Now, Edwin is an artist I met fairly recently, within the last year and a half, yeah?
Yeah, it's about probably less than a year, actually.
Probably. We did a show locally here. Actually, it was like within walking distance of my house at the Greenpoint Brewery. And does a lot of, right? Correct? I'm right.
I'm sorry?
It was at the Greenpoint Brewery, right?
No,
Great South Bay.
Blue Point.
Oh, Blue Point. Okay.
No. Actually, no. I met you at Great South Bay the first time.
Great South Bay the first time. Okay.
Yeah, it was in the back, and then we went to Blue Point.
There was
after
beer,
that.
so it was confusing. And then
Yeah.
I adore Edwin's stuff. I knew I would want to do other shows with him, and then the whole COVID thing happens, and then the streaming's happening. I'm like, you know what? Cool. I can talk to him more now, but also I can do this because Edwin started doing a thing.
Yeah,
and I'm going to click on the first one.
I didn't know
he was before.
I could go on my IG and show you what I'm doing.
I got you right here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I haven't. Edwin, I'll be honest, I didn't know about your stuff before, but when I looked at your stuff looks freaking phenomenal. Especially that Pete's got up. The freaking line work you got going on in there is crisp and crazy, bro.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
First off, I love that the love you're putting on with Vans. That's
what I'm saying. Like when I first met you, I was just strictly a paper artist, color pencil. Right. I was just getting started with Copics on paper. But in January, I started fucking around with Vans. I started customizing, and that's all I've been doing since January. So it's funny how when I met you, I was a different type of artist. Now I'm just doing Vans for the most part.
So this is the picture I used. I used that one so to see his Copic wall, and you can see the master here trying to put things together. And then because this is the stuff I saw him doing right here. We'll throw this up right now.
Which is still dope.
Thank you.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I was doing stuff like that before. It was mostly line work, color pencil, Copic.
But your line work is just on point. Like
it's killer, bro. His line work is killer.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Like I'm a big fan of like anyone who has like clean, crisp line work.
Yes, exactly.
Like I'm a big fan of that. So whenever I see someone have it like that, man, kudos to you, brother.
I appreciate that, man.
Now I see you getting crispy with different genres, and that's cool because we're gonna jump over a bunch of stuff.
So
what?
Cool.
I had to show the dog one. What was your start with art? Like, what got you going with art? Was it anime? Was it comic books?
Bro, Dragon Ball. I was 10 years old, man. Dragon Ball. Fucking Dragon Ball. That's all it was.
Yeah,
it was just watching Dragon Ball with my brother. We used to just draw Goku, Vegeta after school. It was little stick figures at the time. I remember I had this boy, Steve, when I was in the 7th grade. Me and him used to just go back and forth, drawing. And we noticed that we would stand out above the classmates. We would be a little bit better than them. And it just started with that. And I've been drawing for my whole life. I let it go for a year or two here and there. Came back to it, let it go for a year or two, came back to it. But it's always been Dragon Ball. So if you look at a lot of my early stuff, it was just Dragon Ball. And then eventually I started doing some realism here and there, ships, boats, things like that, random stuff. But I really didn't get too serious until 2012. Like if you scroll down, Pete, on my profile, you'll see a lot of my older art is from 2012. That's when I really started to take it serious. It was a lot of new school stuff because I was tattooing for a while. I was an apprentice at a shop.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of like new school stuff because that was what was in at the time.
Right.
And it allowed me to be like really creative and just kind of make my own sketches, make my own designs. And that's where I think you can see a lot of it now. That's why my line work, I don't want to brag, but it's like pretty clean because I came from a tattooing background.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
It really does, though. It really, really. Like, here we go. It really does. Nice and clean.
That's exactly why I don't even touch thinking about doing any kind of tattoo. So, cause my line work is shitty. So,
I'm the guy with the dip pen and the dip. You've seen me and all that stuff, and just sitting there for 12 hours.
Yeah, everybody has their own style. You know what I mean?
I hide all my coloring. I hide all my coloring behind blending, bro.
Well, the trick is to get the outline in, color it in, and then outline it again afterwards. I feel like that's what helps me out a lot.
Yep.
A lot of times you lose the outline when you color it, but I always like to outline it when I'm done. Like that's the last thing. It's the first thing I do, and it's the last thing.
And the last thing I do. Absolutely, I agree with you. 100%. I think
I agree with that.
I've never tattooed. I'm a blank canvas. I don't have any tattoos on me, but I've been inspired by tattoo artists and a couple here and there, a couple smaller guys, local guys. There are two that just blow my mind. I know one of them. You might know both of them. Nico Hurtado I adore his work because he's not just a tattoo artist. He's also an amazing painter. Then you've heard me talk about this guy left and right, Angel. I'm a huge fan of him. My homie David Tevenall, and he is absolutely phenomenal. And you start picking that stuff up.
I just want to drop a name to that. My tattoo artist, Matt Buck. Like, I absolutely love and adore his stuff. Like, he did this Reaper on my arm, and his line work is freaking top notch. Like, we still got to fill this in, but as you can see from the line work, I picked him specifically for it because like his line work was so crisp and so clean that I was like, man, I need to have this guy's stuff.
I hear that. We can talk about line work all day, but we're not going to do that because I got somebody in the background. But we'll get into it later. But what tattoo was it? The local guys at the shop you were apprenticing for, or were there other guys that blew your mind tattoo wise? Edwin,
what's up?
Was it tattoo guys in the shop where you were apprenticing, or were there other bigger guys that were like blowing your mind with tattoo?
Yeah. So it's funny because one of the guys that I was working with at the time just passed away, Chris Bushing. He fell down in a hiking accident. It's crazy. He was a big time artist, man. Big time artist, yeah. I was only doing it for a little bit in the shop. I was mostly scratching from home, like when I first started. I hated the environment. I hated the people. I hated the hours. I hated the just the late nights, the drunk people coming in. It was that's all it is. Like when you're working on the street shop, that's all it is. You just got drunk people coming in. I was like, I can't fucking do this, man. I can't fucking do this.
I hear that.
Yeah, so I left that, and then I had kids, so I had to kind of just focus on work, actual work. And that's when I got more into drawing. Like I feel like I kind of just mastered drawing, and I'm happy I did it because look at what I'm doing today. I'm doing Vans.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. It's
now we were talking about our buddy Larry. He just he mentioned on Facebook before for Miranda that if he has a character Niobe, I'll show her to you a little bit. If you could make Niobe masks. And I'm thinking she probably can, but we'll get into it. You could probably put Niobe on sneakers too, Edwin. But I'll show you guys the character, and I'll introduce you guys to Larry eventually.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a double dip real quick. I'm adding the hardest working man in show business.
Mm-hmm.
There he is, Atramessor Art. We've been busy all day with his screen. You guys are going to get blinded by his screen behind him and shit. It's already blinded him so much that it burned off all his hair.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go from the world of inking and drawing and all this stuff to the world of clay and wax and all sorts of craziness, and bring on our buddy Lewis, the Shadow Rabbit clay guy. We're gonna give him the big screen really quick because I want everybody to see all that chunky, wonderful goodness behind him. Dude, how you been?
I'm all right, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing all right, hanging in there. I met Lewis a few years ago, another local Long Island girl. He's actually further out east than me, which is weird. I know Jay learned that the hard way when we for C2E2 how far out east I live.
Fake ass Brooklyn.
Easy.
Yeah, man. I'm way out in the boondocks.
Yeah, he really is. What have you been up to, bro? I know you've been making stuff like consistently all the time. So your house must be full of clay.
Yeah, I've got a ton of it all over the place, man. I'm just always working, making my little guys here, helping out on Kickstarters. Got a couple things in the works. We'll see if they come through. Stalking some of my favorite artists, see if they want some customs of their characters.
Well, we're gonna get you a full screen on that one.
Nice.
And then
yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, this last couple months have been difficult on everybody, obviously, but second they open up the gates, man, I say we storm it.
That's the plan.
We're gonna get into that. Come back.
Now, Lewis, when did you start playing with Play-Doh and clay and stuff?
Basically, I don't remember a time I wasn't playing with clay.
I was about to say you don't
Play-Doh. Yeah, well, I also probably consumed a lot of it when I was a kid, so
fair.
Same.
Long-term effect I'm a little worried about, but yeah, man, I've been making stuff since I was a little guy, probably. Getting in trouble in school, making little things out of Play-Doh, not wanting to give it back when you had to go learn actual stuff.
Fair.
And
then, is it just? It's not just comic book stuff. It's everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I make whatever. I love the comic community, obviously. So that's that's very near and dear to my heart. But I can make anything, and give me an idea, and we'll roll with it, man.
No need to brag or anything. He's got it. I can make anything. My man said. I love it.
Well, you know something? Give me a challenge. Let's see what we can do.
Look, I'm not even. You made Brendan, so I can't do anything. You made my partner Brendan, which is pretty cool.
He was one of the first ones I came up with.
Yeah, he made one of me as well. That was pretty badass. That was.
Yeah, I got
Angel in there and everything. I was actually impressed with that, with the size of what that thing was and how you was able to get that detail in there.
I love that you have lights in some of these sculptures.
Yeah, awesome. Man, that's what I'm starting to mess with now.
That
Seeing
is
if
so
I can get little lights on them and stuff.
Here we go.
That's dope.
Like, look at that.
I gotta get you to do one of my Reapers with the eyes glowing like that. My little Reaper.
Oh, bro, absolutely. I got you guys.
It's really scary how good he is with this and how awesome it is. And I've seen him at shows come in with a truckload of stuff and then leave with like just a shopping bag.
Yeah, I mean, I got the whole my little dudes that I make.
Let's give you the full. Show off the little dudes.
So cool.
That's crazy. What size is that? Just to get the look at that.
Those look like remember Homies?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Of course I remember Homies. I wish I'd have beat that guy to the punch.
Right? He's actually, I saw the Vice story on him. He's actually broke. Well, not broke, but like.
Yeah, so he bought all the vending things that came out of, and then when they stopped putting them everywhere, he got stuck with like hundreds of them. Yeah.
It's the funniest breakdown story, right?
The guy's cool as anything, man. I love those homies. They had a homie that was me. I saw it once, and then a couple years ago, my wife found it and got it for Christmas. But I swear, cool. I'm like, oh man, that's me. So,
that's pretty awesome.
It's all good.
I'll
let you get away with it.
I like it.
But yeah, man. There's a Kickstarter burlap comic from Covenant Comic that's on October 22nd. I think they're
launching,
doing their next Kickstarter campaign. Okay. Working on some characters with Written Ralph for his Hugbert when that comes out. Man,
he's actually He's going to be on the Pit. I'm doing a
Lucky you.
Bitten Apple / It Came from the Radio reversal of worlds. Usually they're interviewing everybody, but now I'll be interviewing them. And that'll be the first Wednesday in October.
That's gonna be great, man. Man, I got something he commissioned that I was hoping to debut back at your show in February.
Oh, yeah.
But then the world ended, so I'm looking forward to finally getting that to them.
Right now, if everything works out, our show is scheduled for February 6th, the Indie Art Show, but we'll see how that goes.
I'll bring my my baseball bat and everything, man. Hopefully the zombies ain't out yet.
We'll see what happens. Now, we had Jay was involved in daddy stuff. So what's going on, man? I know you got a bunch of stuff going on, and I wanted you to be able to, yeah, you with the glowing screen behind you and shit. I know you got to
freaking Skynet behind you.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
I'm in my living room. That's my TV. That's not even Skynet right now. Skynet will be next week when I get my Fios in tomorrow.
Jay's been waiting for internet for 2 weeks, so it's
been brutal. It's been horrible.
Now
2 weeks of no internet.
We're talking about technology, and we're talking about Skynet and all this nonsense. So I guess the first thing I wanted to say, because it's the freshest thing that just happened today. I know I watched Jay's stream of it. Did anybody else watch the PlayStation 5 launch today?
I
saw bits and pieces of it. I'm not impressed, man. Not impressed.
You're gonna anger me now because I've missed out pre-ordering it at Walmart and I missed out pre-ordering it at Best Buy because the servers keep crashing.
Yeah, that's why I stayed away from it.
I'm trying to give them my money. They just don't want to take it.
Did they give the release date?
November
12th.
November 12th.
I wanna thank Jay for putting that live up because it reminded me to go watch it.
Listen, first of all, am I the only Xbox guy here? Like,
yeah,
I feel like you guys are getting up on me right now.
Odd man out.
Which is all right. So Edwin's been good talking to you.
Peace.
Now, what was cool? I saw the two versions. There's the Big Daddy version with the disk drive and whatever the $4.99, and then there's the $3.99 version that doesn't have a disk drive. It's all hard drive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's no disk drive, so basically it's all digital. You got to download the games.
You got to download there. Now,
They got any big games they announced?
The Final Fantasy was huge, I think.
7, right?
They showed that one, Final Fantasy 16. They showed the new Harry Potter game that looks like an RPG MMO.
Right. The Miles Morales Spider-Man game looks phenomenal.
They showed Call of Duty Black, Call of Duty Black Ops. It had me dying for.
Oh my god, for so many reasons. And we're really going to turn into guys really fast. But the Call of Duty looks ridiculous, and you're going to lose people this weekend because they're doing a free trial of it on PlayStation 4 this weekend. So bye everybody. That's where I'll be this weekend. Miranda, are you like a big video game fan or?
Yes, I'm mostly like a Switch girl though.
Okay, that's fair. Animal Crossing.
Like I've been waiting for Breath of the Wild 2 anxiously every single day.
Animal Crossing?
Oh well, yeah, Animal Crossing. Put like 200 hours in, but I really want Breath of the Wild 2. I recently gave Breath of the Wild 1 to my sister, and then went to GameStop and bought it and played it again through because I just love it so much. So yeah, I'm a big Nintendo girl.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Although I kind of want a PS5 because some of these games look really sick.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm on like 200 screens trying to find a site to pre-order.
Well, the only ones that put it up were Best Buy and Walmart, and they're going to be gone. They're probably gone already.
GameStop just
more opportunities.
Don't pre-order from GameStop.
Really?
They're gonna steal your money. They're about to go bankrupt. They're gonna take your money and run. You've never seen that system.
You got a better chance dropping your money in the middle of the street in Brooklyn. Now, Edwin, Talk to me about
Okay,
Xbox.
brother.
What's going on with Xbox? What's happening? Because I know
Listen,
I
don't
had
want to talk about Xbox. I'm the only Xbox guy here. You guys are just gonna get up on me.
he ain't got no games to talk about. That's the problem.
Listen. They did a side-by-side comparison with the Xbox and the PlayStation. Xbox outperforms the PlayStation in every category. Listen, I can pull it up right now if you want to.
Wait, can we talk about the loading time,
you
though?
only looking at numbers, though.
It's gone.
You know what those numbers don't tell you? They had two big industry guys that design games, and they said the PS5 and the Xbox X or whatever number thing they have right now, in terms of generation systems, are the closest in terms of specs ever. Even between Xbox, the last Xbox and PlayStation 4. Those numbers don't mean nothing.
I mean, that's fine, but like I said, when you put them side by side, the Xbox still outperforms PlayStation. That's all that matters, dude.
But outperforms you playing what? Nothing.
No, I'm not gonna front, bro. I'm not a huge like gamer. The only game I really go hard for is Assassin's Creed.
Fair.
That's the only game that I really go crazy for. I used to be a big Call of Duty guy. I have kids, man. I have 2 kids, so I'm more of a Nintendo Switch kind of guy right now.
Yeah.
A lot of Mario Party, a lot of Mario Kart. You know,
There's
a lot of
nothing wrong with Mario.
There's nothing wrong with Mario. There's nothing fucking wrong with Mario. But so I'm a big Nintendo Switch guy right now. But when I do play Xbox, it's mostly Assassin's Creed, a little bit of Call of Duty here and there. But that's why I don't go too crazy for these console wars. I'm just fucking being stupid. But, I use it mostly for like Netflix, the streaming apps. Like right now, my Xbox is on right here. I'm using it for Twitch. It works perfect for what I need it for. It's more like a multi-streaming platform for me. I use it for everything. Like I cut off cable, so I just use my Xbox for absolutely everything. So and it's perfect for what I need it for.
So you use it for everything except having fun. I got you.
I mean, this is fun. This is fun to me. That's fun.
I play games on my PS4, but I definitely use it for YouTube and for it's connected to. It's better sound than my computer.
Yeah.
So
I you know what it is, bro? The video games is hard for me. It's hard for me to sit down and just play video games and just like. I don't knock anybody who's doing it. It's just hard for me to do that. I feel like I'm just wasting time, man.
I get that. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Also, like when I start playing for a long time, like I could be making some art right now. That's
what I'm saying. Because for example, when I first got Animal Crossing, I was so fucking into that game. Like that's all I was doing for like weeks, and I stopped drawing. I left work early to come home and play that game. I'm like, yo, I can't keep doing this, man. Like, yeah.
But that's the same reason I can't sit down and watch TV because I feel like I'm just like wasting time.
You're wasting time, bro. You could be creating. You could be doing something else. Like, honestly, man, I have more fun sitting down, playing music, just drawing. Like, I feel like it makes me feel better. You know what I mean?
I see all these games and I'm excited and it's cool, but I'm still a sports games guy, and it's really terrible. It's hockey, FIFA, and Madden really sucks now.
2K.
But I'm glad 2K is coming back, so that's going to be exciting. But that's me.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I've always been a big sports game fan. I've always been a big fan of just video games in general. And it's like I wanted to get the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 so bad. Yeah. And now that it came out, I'm like, I have no desire to buy it. Like I know I'm not going to play it.
I still have my PS2 hooked up, and I still can play it there. But really quick, because I'm afraid he might be asleep.
You're right. Man, I got a bunch of kids, so I don't have anything good to say about it. If I get a free second, I'm working, man. Yeah. Although my brother did buy us they remastered all the old like Super Nintendo and Sega and stuff onto this little thing, but it's got the original controllers. So
the emulators,
yeah, the emulator. So my older kid, I started to let get onto that and play like Street Fighter and stuff like that.
Dude, you got to grow. You got to get those classics in. Now I know the guys in the.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Phil, my co-host for CromCon, he's a PC gamer, so he might want to. He definitely is going to talk tech. October 2nd with Jay about all the Skynet stuff that they can do, and then Oscar, our buddy over here, Call of Duty for Zombies. I respect that. And we're both hockey guys, so there you go. And Oscar's still going. Street Fighter is a rite of passage, and I think that's true as well.
Yes, it is.
I 100% agree with that. I lost my paper. with my info. I had a piece of paper and I just found it. I want to see what's going on. Now, I'm gonna jump off video games for a second. I think with Daddy in the corner there, we kind of beat the horse dead a little bit. We might come back to it. We're all artists here in one way or another, and we all do all sorts of creative shit. So the curious is, and we're going to start, because he didn't get a chance to talk about the games, we're going to start with the Shadow Rabbit. What got you? Who got you? What got you into art, bro? What blew your mind?
I mean, I guess my parents probably, started me off getting clay and wax. My uncle used to get me like industrial wax from work and stuff. So I'd mix that. I like the consistency. I've been messing with it my whole life to get it, just the way I like it. Feels right. And I still cook it up in my garage. Try not to burn the house down or anything.
We're talking about clay, not meth, right?
Man, I got bills to pay. No, it's
fair.
It's a mix of waxes and clay. So the stuff I do at the shows, like the little guys, they never harden. But since it's a high wax content, I've got stuff I had to clean out my folks' house a couple weeks ago, and I got stuff I know is 20-something years old and still looks fine. So it's fun to play with. I mean, I've been messing with it since I was, really little.
Cool. All right. Miranda, how about you? What got you sewing? What got you into cosplay? What got you creating all this stuff with fabric and things?
So when I think it was like 10 or 11, I wanted to make, because I was like a huge little emo kid, I wanted to make the Black Parade costume for Halloween, but like I didn't know how to sew, so I just like cut up a bunch of clothes. My mom was like, "What are you doing?" And it came out really, really bad. And so they got me a sewing machine, and I just started messing with it. And it's been like 15 years in the making of just like experimenting. And then I went to FIT for it. And I had like a really supportive family who was always like, "Hey, you want to try out this new medium? Like, we'll help you. Here's the supplies. Here's the programs." I went to a special program in high school for fashion design as well. So I've had like a lot of training, and just I've had a lot of opportunity to just kind of mess around with it. I've always been into art, like sketching and drawing and painting since I was like little kid. So I guess that kind of like moved over. I was like, oh, I can do these things, but I can wear them, which is awesome. And especially like I always had like a very interesting style. Like I always liked to dress different, and I couldn't always find things that I liked. So I just started making them. And, the first couple of years, everything came out really terrible. But, the more practice I did and the more experimenting and the more things that came out really bad, they started to come out really good.
All right, fair enough.
I used to watch movies and TV shows, and I was a big X-Men fan as a kid. And I was like, wow, these costumes and these superheroes are so cool. I want to look like them. So I just started, I went to Comic-Con in 2013, and I was just like, this is like the niche I've been looking for. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Edwin, I know we talked about tattoos and stuff, but was there anybody and your brother and things like that in drawing? But was there anything, like, was there any one moment or one artist that you saw and was like, I know DBZ, we all talked about that, we all have that. I know that's why we're gonna segue right into Jay in a minute. But was there anything that just blew your mind and just like, yeah, this is what I got to be doing?
You're talking about me?
Went to Edwin, but
okay,
if you want to answer that question, you can. Feel free.
All right, so I'm confused. So can you re-ask the question? I thought it was to her too.
What blew your mind? What made you rock solid? Like, I got to do this. I got to be an artist. I have to get this out of my head.
Honestly, it was more or less just there wasn't anything that drew me to it. I would just draw with my brother, like just doing Dragon Ball. And like I said, it was me and this kid Steve. We were in middle school together, and we would always just kind of compete with each other, like who could draw better. He was always better than me, but I tried to convince people that I was better than him. And we kind of just went with that for years. And eventually, we just got really good at drawing. And like I said, I just always did it on the side, like just for fun, just Dragon Ball GT came out, and then I started drawing like all these new characters. And then I started creating my own characters. And then eventually it just became to like I said, I got into tattooing, and I started doing roses and like all this new school shit. And once I started doing new school, I started feeling like I could just do anything, and nobody would really judge me for it, because that's the style of new school. You can kind of just do whatever you want. There's no way it's supposed to be proportion. There's no way to describe new school. It's you could draw big arms, small arms, big legs, small legs. You could do whatever you want with new school. As long as you had the color in there, you could do whatever you want. And I feel like that it gave me the alley to become an artist, but I felt like I was kind of cheating what I was doing, because I was just doing whatever I wanted. And I didn't learn how to do proportions properly. And once I started shying away from that and shying away from tattooing and just doing paper drawings, that's when I really started to get the idea of, okay, like I can do solid line work. I can do proportions. I don't need to stencil. I don't need to trace, because that's what you do when you tattoo. All you do is stencil. All you do is trace. And once I started seeing that I could like do it without stenciling, without tracing, like if you go back to my early work, I used to do a lot of realism too. Once I did like my first realistic piece, that's when I was like, okay, I'm an artist. You know, I can do more than just stencil. I could do more than just trace. And it just took over, and it was just more curiosity than anything. I would go on Reddit all the time, see all these artists post up all this cool stuff. That's how I actually started doing Vans. I met this dude.
That's exactly what I was about to ask you. I definitely want to know what made you go Vans, because that's so, like, I don't know if it was skate culture or if it was your thing. Like, yeah.
So I was subscribed to the Dragon Ball subreddit. I would always go on there for art ideas, and I saw this guy post up Dragon Ball Vans. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. Like, this guy draws Dragon Ball on Vans. And I bought myself a pair of Vans, $50. I bought myself a pair of Vans for myself, my size, 9.5. And I said, I'm going to create a scene on these shoes. And it was pretty cool, not working on a piece of paper. You have this, like, this oval object where you can create a whole scene on. So I did, I wanted to start with the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. I wanted to start with Piccolo versus... Piccolo and Goku versus Raditz. So if you look at like I don't know. Actually, I'll pull it up. I'll share the screen.
Go for it.
Yeah. So my very
you'll find it faster.
Yeah.
So feel free. Easy. I think I've seen. No? I cannot.
Okay, so you know what, Pete? You want to pull it up? You'll see. It's the very first pair of Vans I made.
I shall. Mind my bald head. Sorry. Just keep scrolling. Tell me when I'm warm.
No, it's right there. You see the Piccolo next to the Plumbus?
It's filthy, man.
That's the first pair I ever made. You know, I wanted to make that whole scene where Piccolo kills Goku and Raditz. And if you keep scrolling to the right, you'll see the back of the shoe where Gohan's on there. Like the scene where Gohan attacks Raditz and his hat falls off.
So good.
Thank you.
And
what really got me into the Vans was the fact that you see how I wrapped Gohan's arms around the Vans? I was like, This is fucking crazy. It's like 3-dimensional. You can make a drawing more than just sitting on a piece of paper. And once I made this pair of Vans, I got like 4 commissions right off of it. Hey, can you do this?
Yeah, no, that's going to be hot.
Yeah, I bet, man.
So I got all these commissions, and now I have over 50 commissions. You know, I'm booked till like next year. And it's insane. Like, I never thought I would get to this point. I never thought I would be doing Vans.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have. So
it's
kind of sucks. Markers. Yeah, all Copic markers. Yep. And this is when I was really learning how to use Copics. Like I'm still learning how to use Copics. I don't have all the colors yet. You know, I'm kind of just buying colors as I go. But like totally you said, it's a good problem to have. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a great. Now the question. Do you find that the Copics work? Have you tried other markers, or was it just straight
Copic?
Because the canvas, because the canvas on the Vans, yeah.
Go ahead.
It has to pick up the ink really well, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this is something that I didn't know as an early artist with Copics, that these Vans suck up ink like crazy. So you have to really control how much pressure you put on the canvas. It's not as easy as just laying it out on paper.
Right.
This is fabric. If you touch the tip onto the Van, it's going to suck up the ink and spread. it bleeds. So you have to control the bleeding. You have to really. That's why if you look at my work, you see a lot of heavy outlines and a lot of jelly rolls, a lot of white outlines outside the Copics. It helps me, like whenever you see that, I'm hiding my mistakes. A lot of people don't notice that, but I'm really hiding a lot of mistakes that I make because these Copics just bleed like crazy. So when you buy a brand new Copic marker, you kind of just have to spread it on a piece of paper to let it bleed out a little bit before you put it on the shoe. Otherwise, you're gonna get a ton of bleeding, and it's just not good. But you know, as a
with a Copic marker,
yeah,
just because I didn't bleed it out first, I was like, oh my god, the whole thing is.
yeah, it explodes. Especially if it's hot in your apartment, it's gonna just bleed everywhere. You know what I mean?
When you refill them, too,
what's up?
When you refill them too, because that's the bonus.
So what I like to do, and I'll show you. So this is the top of the Copic marker. This is the bottom. This is Yeah, go ahead. I never use this side. I never use this side. I use this side. This is my super brush.
Right. The brush.
Tip. When I refill from the bottom.
Right.
I never refill from the top because if you refill from the top, you're gonna have all that ink up top, and once you put it on the shoe, it's gonna bleed everywhere. I refill from the bottom, and I just let it bleed into the top. You know what I mean?
That makes perfect sense.
All my Copics lay flat. They never sit like this, sit like that. They always sit flat. Always.
Yep.
Yeah. So you want to get that ink distributed evenly. The worst thing you can do, and it's happened to me before, is put a Copic on a shoe and just have it bleed everywhere. It's hard to fix. It's a pain in the ass, honestly.
But that's awesome, though. But you it seems that you have the touch for them, and I know.
Thank you.
Jay's always wanted to talk about Copic markers and looking. I know you've looked into them, Jay.
Listen, why are you attacking me? Why did you attack Jay Knight?
Don't attack Jay Knight. We're not attacking you.
You know what that means. You know what saying that means.
Now, Jay, because I know we've talked extensively especially on the long drives, and we would talk about all these art styles and stuff like that. What was it for you that made you just, Oh, look at that. I already got another commission, Edwin. Look at that. Buddy Chad needs a pair with Spawn on him.
Yeah, hit me up.
Follow his Instagram. Follow
my IG. I don't take any commissions outside of IG. It's just hard to organize.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Now, Jay, what happened again? I'm sorry.
I mean, similar to Edwin, it was when I was younger, especially in school and stuff like that, I always seemed to be, better than everybody else when it came to art. That's a nicer way to put it.
It's very subtle. Very subtle.
It just is what it is. But I remember specifically junior high school, my art teacher, I wish I could remember her name, but I'm terrible with names. She was really blown away, and she actually put me into this program when I was just starting junior high school, where are you guys familiar with Pratt College? The art college?
Yeah.
She put me in a program where basically I was taking art classes, college level art classes at Pratt, getting college credit while I was in junior high school. So I was over there, and I was basically doing charcoal art, all kinds of art. It was the whole year that I was there, and that was really when I really fell in love with just making art. No, it wasn't just for fun like I always did. So that was probably the key thing. That, and then also comic books. My father collected comic books when he was younger. He got me into the hobby, and I remember the Todd McFarlane #1 Spider-Man, seeing that and just being holy. I don't know what kind of language I could use right now.
You're not bad.
But, I was like, holy shit! Look at this! That blew me away. So those are the main things I think will say got me into art. And then when computers first became a thing, because I'm that generation, the last generation that remembers life before computers and cell phones.
I had black and white TVs, bro. I feel you.
Yeah, so when we got a computer, we was the first people on our block to have a computer. No one had a computer, and I remember getting the Photoshop, the very first version of Photoshop, and messing with it, and just fell in love with creating on that. And then from there, I've always been mainly digital. I mean, I still can do the hand drawn stuff and all that stuff, but it was all straight on all digital for me.
Really quick, because the comments didn't come up, I want to say hi to Pops and Russell Allen. What's going on, guys? So, and I've seen Jay. Actually, there's a skateboard I always wanted to do something with this skateboard. I was carrying around with it. And Jay actually had a decal that he had hand drawn and gotten done into a sticker, and it's on the. I should have brought it out. Next time I'll bring it out. I'll post it on Instagram. It was hand drawn and it was done like that, and it was really dope. And so
it was done in Illustrator. So it's vector.
Still though, it's still
art.
It's still
by hand, but it was in Illustrator.
And then we jump over Angel. What got you going? Because this is the perfect segue. Because Angel's the perfect guy to end this on, and then get going into the next thing. Because we're all gonna have a laugh.
So I started actually. My dad, he was a truck driver for many years, and what he would do is, I wouldn't see him for like a week or two, and whenever he'd come back with a stack of comic books, that he'd pick up from off the road, truck stops and whatever. And I started showing interest in drawing from a very young age. So he would hit me with the stack of comics, and when he'd leave again, he'd be like, try to draw these, and then when I come back, I'll look at them, and every week I'd pump out like 10 sketches of me trying to redraw covers and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I didn't do any art until I drew into high school, and then I stopped drawing, and then I started doing music with Jay. Actually, we did music together for a while, and we did bands and stuff, and I would sketch around and stuff, and we needed stuff for the band. So that's when Jay introduced me to Photoshop, and from Photoshop to Illustrator and stuff like that. And then I actually made a career out of it. So,
all right, now it's kind of where we wanted, because I know a lot of us are working artists. We're all working artists trying to get this thing out there. But there was lots of influences in a lot of the stuff we do. We're not just I don't see anyone here pigeonholed into one thing. We're all venturing off, and because I wanted to talk about it. I know Jay's been working behind the scenes, and I can't wait till you put those out. He's been working on some DBZ characters and stuff, and I know it's
in here. I threw it in here, so like it'll pop up eventually. I haven't even. I think you're the only one who's seen it.
And it's fire. I told him my quote when he first showed me the first one that he finished. He's like, "Okay, that one's already sold out. Fine, okay, cool." But and we'll start with Miranda. Comics, anime, pop culture, or everything? Or do you have a favorite?
I think anime right now is my favorite. Comics used to be. It kind of flip-flops. Like, I'll get really into something, and then I just start watching and consuming like everything there is. But mostly anime. But I just started getting into manga too, and that's like a whole other like awesome.
That's right, manga's the best.
Jay is definitely the master with it. I know the old Shonen Jump and stuff like that is what got me going, but yes. I think Death Note is the perfect manga, but that's just me. What manga are you getting into now? What's getting you going?
Chainsaw Man is awesome. If you haven't read it, you should. It's really, really good. It's really dark, but like I like dark shit, so
that's fair. It's
totally very good. My Hero I've been reading. I watched the anime and became like totally obsessed with it. So I was like, I need to read the entire thing because I need to know what's happening. It's getting pretty crazy right now.
My Hero is anime crack.
Literally.
I didn't expect to like it because the first 5 episodes,
too.
I wanted Midoriya dead. Like I hated him. And then
you like him after a while.
Oh, it's like, and then you feel
I
bad.
Stop crying. But now
you know what it is about that show? That show has, like, you meet, like, Lemillion is one of my favorite characters. You don't meet him till the last season. So every season you're introduced to all these new characters, and everybody's so likable. Like, for example, I used to love Aida. Now I love Lemillion. Then I love Endeavor. You know, you hated Endeavor in the beginning. And now everybody loves him.
I love Endeavor right now, especially like if you're caught up in the manga. Like he's so cool.
he just made up for all the shit he did in the past, you know.
Right.
And now he's my favorite character. So it's like it always changes, you know. It's great. That's one of the best animes, I think, because it's so relatable. You get so many characters you can
Right.
associate with and like and love. And I feel like Midoriya is, even though he's the focal point of the show, he still doesn't play a huge role. You give these opportunities to these other characters. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's pretty
They
cool.
did a really good job of spreading it around.
Yeah. It's not like Dragon Ball.
One of-
Like I
one
love
of the
Dragon
least
Ball, but
main
Dragon Ball's all
character,
about
main
Goku.
character.
You know what's up?
He's like one of the least main characters in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they realized that he's annoying and they didn't want to.
He's a typical shonen.
No, but he puts in work when he needs to. You know.
No, he puts in the work. What I really, the big thing for me, which I like, and Jay and I talked about this too. I love that the villains are not an afterthought. Like they're deep.
Not at all.
There's a lot of stuff.
I
going
love
on.
the villains in that
Yeah.
series. I don't usually like villains, but like Shigaraki, like love him.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's
Yeah.
such like a well-written character.
But it's gonna be gone in a second.
Yeah, he could be gone in a second. Like Stain. Stain was the big bad guy, right? He was there for like what, 4 episodes, and he was gone. You know what I mean? And he's one of like the most iconic characters in the show.
Yeah.
Now we'll go over to Lewis. Lewis, comic books, anime, cartoons, kind of we're about to
Everything,
go
man.
down the anime route.
Yeah.
I think they realized that he's annoying and they didn't want to.
And he's one of like the most iconic characters in the show.
Yeah.
Now we'll go over to Lewis. Lewis, comic books, anime, cartoons.
Am I behind? Sorry, man. I think I got cut off.
Yeah, you're behind. He's annoying. And they didn't want to.
I like everything, man. I started off with Spawn and Batman and stuff when I was a
Hold on real
kid.
quick. I'm hearing two.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
getting
here.
my feedback.
Yeah, same.
We all good?
Hold on
Yeah,
a second.
yeah, you're good.
Caught a little feedback there. Just trying to figure out what that was. All right, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
So that's what you get for saying bad things about, Bezos online or something.
All right.
Yeah, man. I like everything. I started off with, Batman and Spawn when I was a little kid, and then I never really had a ton of comic books or anything. But man, I love anime, Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball Z, Batman animated series, all that.
hell yeah.
And then when I was older, I got back into Batman with the Snyder run and everything, Court of Owls and all that.
Yeah.
That was
but,
really great books.
I fucking love all anything that's cool, man. I can even someone just says, look at this, it looks sick. And that's really what gets me interested. It's the artwork on it, and then if it's got a good story, that's a bonus for me. I mean, I read right now I'm only reading like Berserk and Attack on Titan when I got time. But and I'll pop into some Batman stuff, death metal or something like that.
There you go. That's awesome. Now I know I'm kind of I'm saving Angel for this thing because I know Angel sees anime. Is like, oh, that's cool. What is it?
Because I don't know shit about anime, bro.
It's a whole new world that's got everything in it, man. It's wild once you get into anime.
There's something for everybody.
You're gonna love it.
It is like okay, people like I remember in the hotel at C2E2. We shared a hotel room, and then I remember I stayed up for Tsunami because I wanted to watch Food Wars. It's a goddamn cooking anime,
And it's good.
and it's good.
There are things that you wouldn't think you'd like, and you're like, oh, now I like anime.
This is good. This is really, really good. It's really crazy. So, but we're slowly getting Angel into anime and getting him to start watching stuff and things like that, and it's okay. But
For me,
Are you
it's
gonna
all,
get them in on something serious or something lighthearted?
yeah,
So
okay,
long-
there you go.
all the artwork looks dope, and I like action packed stuff, and I like a bit on the gory side too. So anything like that, I'm in. Done.
You need
Cowboy
to watch.
Bebop.
You
But
need to
the
watch.
No,
Cowboy Bebop was the first thing I saw when I was like a little kid, and I was like, well, this is what I'm due now.
that's a really good anime to get you into anime because the voice acting is really good.
Yeah, and it's like it's only 26 episodes, so it's like really
Yeah, and it
quick. You
starts
just get
and
right through it. Yeah,
You see, Netflix is making a live one.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
What's
heard
the
about it
name?
today.
They're
Actually,
not fucking good. They did the Death Note on that, man.
We didn't
you know
hear
what's another
either
good
one.
one too? Death Note. You guys ever watch Death Note?
Death
I
Note.
love Death Note, man.
Yeah, and it's really
So
quick.
good.
Like I feel like if you want to get into anime, you got to watch a quick anime where it's just like one season, call it a day. You know, you don't want to get into Dragon Ball because it's like fucking 400 episodes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I saw that Death Note live action.
You
That
ever seen Bakano?
No, the live action was alright. Like you gotta watch the anime.
We're gonna start.
No,
First off, with Death Note, we don't speak of the Death Note live action. That doesn't.
Yes.
That was god awful.
Now we're gonna talk really quickly though about Death Note for a second. I recommend, and I told you this, I can lend them to you. I would, and I think Jay co-signs on this. You have to start with the manga. The manga develops a tension and a thing that
you should start with the manga or any anime.
I'm not gonna. He's not ready for that.
The anime was sick too.
But the anime was fantastic too. Now there's a lot of animes have had good transitions into live action. The Tokyo Ghoul live action was absolutely fucking phenomenal. And then
you see Samurai X.
Samurai X. There you go. I'm a big. I like a little bit of everything, but I think Angel needs to watch another. That's another short one season, nice and creepy and gory, lots of crazy shit.
I accept.
All right, so we did that. We talked about that for a second, but that leads us into really what we all are missing right now, and that's shows. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I know, Miranda, and then we're going to start with you again because you're doing the little you're doing the flea market. I don't want to call it a flea market, but
it's like a flea market. You can call it.
What, you're doing the flea market in Brooklyn at Greenpoint.
Yes.
How's that?
It's a lot of fun. So I did it for one day just to kind of try it out. And there's something for everybody there. They have really good food and there's all sorts of different vendors. And they have roller disco, which I didn't think was as cool as it was until I was there. And now I want roller skates and I want to try it. There's great music. There's great artists. I've definitely networked with a lot of great artists. Even if it's a slow day, you still meet and create these relationships that are really, really valuable. And I know there's been people the first week was fantastic. Business was great. The last time I went, it was a little slower, but I got a lot more custom orders from that afterwards. Right. So afterwards I was on Instagram and everyone's like, hey, I saw you at the market and I was thinking of this thing and we kind of spoke about it. So the second time was more of future investments. So either way, it was amazing. And my sister helped me the whole time, Michaela, and she was awesome. Because it was really hard to set up the booth by myself. So I've never actually sold at a market before. I've always done it online, and that was it. So I kind of dove in, and my family really set it all up, and so it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Great.
Now,
and if you I would recommend it, even if you do it for just one day. It's also right on the water in Greenpoint, and there's a nice view of the city. So it's just a really fun day to just go and hang out and meet artists and do cool stuff.
All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, I think for all of us, this was supposed to be I'll speak for myself, but I know Jay and Shadow Rabbit, we were supposed to go to a shitload of shows. A shitload.
Yeah.
I was booked for over 30.
Yeah.
I was booked through November, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It was, we definitely lost. I don't know, Miranda or Edwin, what you guys were booked for. What did you guys have other shows that you were going to?
I was supposed to go to Crunchyroll Expo in California, and I was so excited because I've never been to California, and I was like, this is it. It's going to be awesome. And then it got canceled. And I was like, oh.
It seemed I took a step back from the shows. I feel once I started doing Vans, I started making more money doing this. But this was supposed to be the first year I was going to do Comic-Con. And I'm like, man, this fucking sucks. It was the first year I was supposed to be a vendor. It was really heartbreaking to see it. I understand it, the whole COVID thing, but it still sucks. It still hurts to get that email. I still remember the email.
I know. I was like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah. Even a virtual thing, but it's no, we're not gonna do it. But
I
get it.
Next year.
Yeah. There's plenty of things to do.
was just canceled. That's in February.
Well, that's where I was actually leading to. MagFest definitely canceled, and that means. It's usually a month apart. That means KatsuCon is probably not going to happen.
No.
I'm so sad because next year was going to be the first year I go to Katsu, and I was so excited about it.
We're going to talk about this cosplay conglomerate that is KatsuCon for a second. This year I got really lucky. Thanks, and I I thank Jay. I finally got to take a bucket list thing off. We got to go to C2E2, which is really cool. I know you were at C2E2 too, Miranda.
C2E2 is such a good show. I love
That's
C2E2.
a favorite show of mine.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. I can't wait to go back. But before that, I had just gotten back from Katsucon, and it was my first one, and it was my first time as a fan at a show in like 6 years.
Nice.
Really super excited, and it's where cosplay goes to spread its wings and be fucking awesome. Yeah, that's it made me really appreciate shows again because I was starting to get the angry artist like Comic-Con, I gotta go to work now. Yeah, it's work for me at that point. But what do you guys miss about going to shows? Like, I know the money is the thing, and Shadow Rabbit, we'll throw it to you guys. I know the cosplay too is something that I know we all miss too. But and we'll get into that in a second. But Shadow Rabbit, what's your what do you miss?
Money is incidental. That helps me keep doing the shows, man. It's just liberating being there. Get the nerd out and people coming up. I like making stuff anyway. Having strangers come up and tell you like, "Hey, you didn't waste your life." I like this shit. Like, really? Okay. I wanted to buy your crap. I mean, fucking give it to you, man. I mean, yeah, and I miss everything. I mean, hang out with the boys and girls and everything else. Just anyone who's get a good heart about them and is into this thing.
Jay, I know we've talked about it, but what about you? Besides the money? What are we missing from the show?
I mean, the travel. I like to travel. One thing I miss walking around during setup and just like seeing everybody's stuff and seeing them build everything up and talking to people. And there's a lot of artists that I follow, and when I look at the list and if there's an artist there that I really like and I'm finally at a show with them, I always make a point to go over there and thank them for making amazing art. But talking with people, just being at the table, the whole experience of it, good and bad, because I've had a lot of bad. I missed all that stuff. Like I said, this year. When I say like last year was like a breakout year for me, because last year was when I said this is my job, like this is what I'm doing. I don't have a day job, I don't have a part-time, like this is me. This is how I'm paying my rent, this is how I'm feeding my family. And I did amazing last year. Like when I totaled it up, I made more last year than when I was working. So I was like, great.
To be fair, to jump in there, Jerry, you've had, even with this whole COVID situation, you've had a fucking killer year, bro.
Well, I mean, that's just finding other ways to do it. But I mean, what kills me is that last year showed me, and I said this in other pits actually. Last year showed me that I can make this a career and pay my bills. This year showed me how fast it could be all be taken away.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Like I said, I think if I told it up, I think I was booked for like 36 shows. I think that was the final number. And we was only up to C2E2. And I was the first show that got canceled. I was doing Ace Boston. And I was so excited because I've never been to Boston. I've been wanting to do that show for 2 years. I finally got in. I'm super excited. And then literally 3 days before the show is when they started the mass cancellation.
Same thing.
And then from there, it was like, fuck, what are we going to do now? And, like Andrew said, that pushed me into finding other avenues to do things and still, not live on the street. But,
Amen.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Like, it's hard.
Now,
but I miss all that stuff.
That actually makes me start thinking. And I'm going to throw this to, because the Angel J, Shadow Rabbit too, and myself have traveled the roads a few times in the last couple of years. But Miranda and Edwin, what was your year? What was your 2020? And I'm not trying to depress anybody because it's okay, but but what was your 20? And you guys decide who goes first. What was your 2020 looking like? What were your plans? What were the goals? And how have you? Because Jay, that's a perfect sidestep. segue. What were your goals for 2020, and how did you, oh shit, fuck, okay, I got to change some plans and redirect things?
So I guess in 2020, I had like plans for like my personal life, and 2020 like ripped them to shreds. And I was like really sad about it. Like I moved into the city for this job that I got, which was great. And then I got laid off a month after I moved to the city for this job. And I was like, oh, great. Now I'm in the city and I don't have a job. This is terrible. What am I going to do? And then I just started, making stuff. And then as I just started to like make stuff to keep myself busy, because I was like, oh, everything about this year sucks. And then like the cons, like I was booked to go to California and Boston and, Anime NYC with Zen Monkey Studios. And like everything just started getting canceled. But then I kind of started to like develop what I was making, like the masks and the cosplay stuff. And like that kind of like took on a whole life of its own. And it did really well. And I was really surprised because it was just something I was doing for fun. And like now I'm making my own website and I'm starting an online shop. So like I feel like the plans that were canceled in 2020 for me was supposed to happen, because like I've had like this like exponential personal growth because of all the free time that like I was forced to like sit there and like think about, what do I want with my life? I think I can be a full-time artist in like 5 years from now. So I have complaints, but I don't have complaints. That makes sense.
That's completely fair.
Yeah,
Edwin, what happened? What was your? It really does, doesn't it? It does sound healthy. And what was your 2020 looking like? And I obviously, Vans are the answer. But
yeah, honestly, bro, I was just doing art shows here and there. It was just for fun. I used to draw for fun. I never did it for money. I never did it for fame. And when 2020 started, I was just looking forward to like these local art shows, going to Comic-Con for the first time. And this has been my busiest year, my best financial year of my life. Not just with art, but like with my actual job. Like I've been working more than I've ever worked in my life. I've been working more with art. I'm very social. I don't know if you remember me from like my early art days. I used to go out a lot, man. Like I used to go out drinking a lot, partying a lot. But now that I've been forced to stay home, I've been able to focus on art. So I feel like I have 2 jobs, man. I work my regular job, and then I come home and just draw all day long. Mm-hmm. And it's I was very social and very extroverted before this started, and now I feel like I'm like extremely introverted. Like I just want to stay home. I just want to just work on my art, and it kind of sucks. Like I'm like, man, like I really changed. Like COVID really changed me. I started using my art to become an avenue to buy my art supplies, to buy these materials. Now I'm buying like things like desktops and like things to help enhance my future with art. With my art money, I don't even have to use like my personal money, which is awesome.
Isn't that a great
feeling? That's exactly what like I started to see too.
Yeah,
like I posted these masks online and they did really well, and I was like, oh, I should reinvest this into machines and into other stuff. Like it's easier for me, and it's just kind of like grown that way.
Yeah, you don't have to use your real money for your art. Like this used to be a hobby where it was hard to maintain because I had to work and use my real money to buy markers and color pencils. Right. Now it's like I have a whole separate bank account just for my art. That's just for my materials. Like the money that I use. Like the money that I use for working is like for myself, for my
it
real
funds
life.
Itself now. And it's awesome.
It funds itself and more. It's like I can see myself growing from just this hobby, and it's like this year. As I don't want to sound selfish, but this has been like my best year in terms of personal growth.
Me too. Man.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But that's the way it's supposed to be. Like some people you roll over and die. Some people say, well, I'm gonna make something of this and I'm gonna bust my ass and do what I got to do.
This is the time where creators should have taken advantage of the time home and the time not being able to go out. That's why I get so pissed off when people just sit at home and fucking sleep all day. I'm like, yo, you have the opportunity to do something with this time. Like, I could easily work 10 hours a day and come home and be lazy and just watch TV all day. But I'm like, I invested it into myself. I invested into my art, and there's no fucking excuse. Like, I hate when people have excuses. There's no excuse. I have 2 kids, I have a 50-hour-a-week job. Like, there's no excuse. You if you want to get it, you get it. You know what I mean? And that's why I
absolutely.
I find it so hard to. What's up?
I said that right towards the beginning of April. Is like, well, and we all talked about it. It's well, if this is gonna happen, if this shit's gonna happen, then let's grind.
Yeah,
let's
open up your commissions. Open up your
let's get everything out there, and let's work and get ahead so that when it's over, I'm way ahead. And then, like you said, let's start. Okay, you know what? Through all these years of cons, my equipment's a little shitty, so let's rebuild this. I know Jay likes to call me an art supply hoarder because I was, and stuff like that. But really quickly, because I know Miranda and Edwin were agreeing on certain things, and you know who this person is, Miranda, right? Is that your sister?
Yeah.
Can we talk about this for a second? What's going on? Your sister is making things awkward right now.
A little bit.
I love it though. I think it's great. Please follow me and continue to make things awkward. I love it. But I just thought because you did a really good job ignoring it, but there was no fucking way I was letting you do it.
I know you kept putting it back up, and I was like, please stop.
Yeah, no, I kept putting it back up. I wasn't letting that go. I wanted to just because that's funny. And that's
she goes, that was my boyfriend. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Just making everybody fun. Now I want to go into this comment. Carlos, I'm sorry that you stopped doing art recently. And I know I'd love to see if you could comment like a link or something that you had on. I would love to have seen what you were doing. But hey, look, everybody stops once in a while. You can dive back in whenever you want, bro. You really can. Like
True that.
This has been I know I took a couple years off when I was in college.
Can I speak on that for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. I will give you the floor.
So I've been doing art and making art freelance or whatever for 15 plus years now.
Give it to
but there was a point, I want to say 2014 maybe, where I was doing well, doing my own art. I wasn't doing like this kind of stuff at that point. It was mostly like just my own personal art and then freelance stuff with companies or whatever. My workstation, I had a laptop. My laptop died and my hard drive died, both at the same time. That hard drive had 12 plus years of material, of sessions, of stocks, of everything. Gone. Just like that, gone. That was my whole art life, gone. And I quit. Like, I stopped making art. Like, if you go on my Instagram, you go all the way to the beginning, you see me super active, and then you see there's one point where I just stopped. And, like, I don't post anymore. I don't post anything anymore. And there's, like, almost a 2-year gap there. And I was, like, really, I was depressed. I was really down on myself. I was actually talking at one point. I was talking to Angel, and I was talking to my boy Joe, and I was telling him, yo, like I'm really fucking depressed. Like I don't even. What's the point in fucking doing anything? Like I lost all drive to do anything, and those two really put a foot in my ass. Luckily, because me and Angel go back so far. Showing Photoshop and then building up together and stuff like that. A lot of the resources that I had, he had, so he was able to give me some of those resources back. I mean, I lost some of my sessions and all that. That's never coming back. But that's when I finally said, okay, I'm going to start doing shows. They helped me get into shows, and I just fucking said, okay, this is it. I'm going to just start running. And I feel like I did okay. I'm doing okay. But even this year, there was a point this year where I almost quit. Like, I was going to quit. I was getting trolled by some dude. I don't know who it was. I still don't know who it was. And basically, they just started reporting me on social media, reporting everything that I post. And at one point, Facebook and Instagram, they were gonna delete my account. Like they banned me. I was shadow banned. They took all my access to everything on my page away. I couldn't do nothing on my page. And it was like that for about a month and a half, almost, something like that, Pete.
Yeah, no, it was at least 6. It was at least 6 weeks.
Yeah, and like I was at the point where I was gonna quit because I was like, this is the second time now, you know. But you know, thankfully I had friends around me that said, you know, fuck it, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. I kept fighting it, and they finally said, Facebook, well, Facebook owns Instagram, so it's Facebook. They pretty much gave me a BS. Oh, we apologize. We should have never did that to you. That was their final thing that they said to me. And then from there, I said, fuck it. Now I'm really gonna bust my ass and keep going. And then that's when I started making all these other things happen. So you can't just quit. Like, I mean, I don't know what your circumstances are, but you know, if you love to do it, don't stop, even if it's just for you.
And let me just jump in there, and you know, this is sidebar, but Jay, I want to say, being the guy that knows you the longest here, I'm really proud of you, man. I'm really proud that you were able to get through that. And sure, me and Joe were up your ass about it, but you could have turned around and told us to go fuck ourselves, right?
I did a few times.
Well, permanently, you know what I mean? Like you took the initiative and took that, and you fucking came back to life, and you know, because you know, art is a thing that should be bringing joy, you know what I mean? And if it's something that brings you joy like that, you should never just quit it. You should never just, fine, you don't want to do it as a career, you still want to do it just to have fun, you should, because that's an outlet that can help you mentally, you know, that can help you get through a lot of things. So I encourage anybody who, hey, if you don't want to make it a career, you don't have to. If you have the joy for it, just do it. You know, creating art doesn't cost a thing. Just do it, you know?
Well, I feel like also, like, the most rewarding when it becomes a job is when, like, it's just a hobby to get you through something, and then it kind of just turns into that. Yeah. So I was going to FIT to do costume design, and when I was at FIT, I just hated the fashion industry so much that I was like, forget all this. I'm transferring schools. I'm going to go get a liberal arts degree, and I'm going to become a teacher or something. And I did that for like 2.5 years. I just like didn't pick up a pencil. I didn't sew a thing. And then like I went to C2E2 with Zen Monkey, and it was awesome. And I was like, you know, maybe I'll just start doing it for me because it's fun and it brings me a lot of happiness. And then, you know, as I started doing it, I was like, oh, you know, like there are these other avenues, and like with the mask making and things like that, I was like, oh, okay, so like it actually can be a job, but it kind of just happens organically sometimes. Like I remember being at FIT being so pressured to try and make it into a career as fast as possible. And I think when I took that pressure off, like it was much easier to make it into something that's like valuable.
Yeah,
you get a little.
It's different for everybody. I do this for a living. Like I've been doing this for a living for a good while, and there's a lot of times that Jay will tell you, because I'll talk to Jay on the side and tell him, man, I really don't want to do this project. You know, there's some things that take the joy out of it, but you know, you find a way, because I'm so passionate about it, because I love it so much, I will find a way to make sense out of it. You know what I mean? Like to make it fun for myself, you know? So person.
No, that's the best way, man. You gotta make the best out of life. You know, no one's here forever, so whatever situation you're in, if you can somehow not be a victim of the circumstance, but shape your environment to make you want to be in it, that's what it's all about. I mean, I never got screwed over like Jay was dealing with, man, but after college and stuff, I got out. I tried to go into fine arts, and fucking just the misery of that, like the lack of support in it, man. I was miserable, man. I was doing fucking statistic work on a computer for a decade after that. You know, they ran me out of the fucking even trying to do art. But then, you know, luckily I just happened to meet people who got me back into it, the encouragement, and you found love in it. And then if you're doing it for you, that's great. And if other people like it, that makes it even better. And if they don't, fuck them. You're still doing it for you. You're the only one you got to answer to, as long as you're not going destitute.
And look, it's been close with something. Like, I'll speak on that for a second. I know I've always bartended and things like that. I've done it for the last 30 years almost. And I've been doing this as a job, but I always call this my career. Yo, my restaurant closed in July. So here I am, full-time artist again. But it's all about the hustle, and it's all about like for me, it's all about the hustle. Yeah, for me, it's all about the hustle. For me, it's all about the grind. Like, okay, I use the example. I almost like doing the work because I'm doing what I love, almost more than I like my successes. Like the perfect example is C2E2. I'd wanted to do C2E2 for 4 years. Couldn't get in. So fuck it. I'm not gonna sit there and cry about it. I'm gonna work and bust my ass, and I'm gonna keep doing things because that's the macro goal. That's the goal down the road. And then what happened? This year we got to go to C2E2 before COVID kicked everything in the nuts. But whatever, we still got to go. So I was like, yeah, I celebrated it for a little bit. But what did we do as soon as we got there, Jay? We went to work. And we started working on what the next thing was going to be. I didn't know that, again, we didn't know that 2020 had a big, big sopping wet kick in the ass for us. But hey, whatever. It happens. So it's one of those things. Now, I always ask this, and I'll start again with Lewis here. When do you think everything's going to come back eventually, and how do you think it's going to come back?
I mean, do we want everything to come back the way that we left it? I mean, it's an opportunity to make a better world, isn't it?
I'm talking about cons.
You're presented
I'm talking about cons. We're not talking about worlds.
Oh, okay. Not the existential crisis you're facing.
We're not going. We're not that deep.
My bad.
We are in the kiddie pool. We're not talking that deep, please.
Fucking they better come back for your con in February, man. I don't know. I'm guessing hopefully fucking spring, bro. I got the awesome con saying like, hey, if we make a show, are you gonna be there?
I already said yes.
I said yes too. They canceled the Christmas one, obviously, but it's gonna be in May, so I'm hoping the spring. But I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see how open all the fucking schools, how that works out.
Yeah, well,
be a good indicator of if you can have people in a room together for a long period of time.
Miranda,
not for nothing. Just to jump in real quick, Carlos Phoenix, man, your work is phenomenal. I don't know if you guys have checked the link that he supplied to his artwork.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It's very dope.
He's dope. Definitely, come on, man. You gotta keep doing art, bro. It's too good.
Oh, where is it? Oh, we got fucking comments.
And now everybody's gonna watch his TV. I muted myself by accident. Miranda, what do you think shows?
Okay, I was like, what?
I don't know when the cons are going to come back. I know that I have a feeling like the mask wearing is going to be happening for like at least another like half a year. Like I'm saying like until like at least through next spring, like people are still going to be wearing masks. Things might go a little bit back to normal, but I don't trust that people are going to do the right thing. So I don't think that like we're all ready for cons yet, because there's going to be a lot of people who are just so excited to get back to it that they just don't follow whatever guidelines are there. And then all of a sudden it just gets worse. I think like anything with like an outdoor opportunity, like some of these markets and things like that are going to be good. And like things where people like circulate and you can actually like regulate who's in. But I can't see like when New York Comic Con didn't cancel until recently. I was like, I cannot imagine New York Comic Con during a pandemic, like even with like you can't even enforce any guidelines in there. It's just too high energy. It's
a big cattle. It's big, yeah. No.
Especially with the fall coming, like there may be a second wave. I don't know. I'd like to say like by the end of next year, like things will come back, but that's just like me.
I keep thinking it's tied to sports with the big amounts of people. So you can't have people at a football game. You're not going to have people at a con.
Right.
Not at all. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I know there's a lot of smaller things starting to happen, like in Jersey, Ohio, and things like that. And I hope they do great. I know Edwin. I know the company that did the show that we were at, Colored Colors. They're doing something outside at Blue Point in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be there. It's September 27th. It's outdoor. So we're spaced. I think 10 feet apart.
10 feet apart.
10 feet apart. Yeah, we're allowed a 10-foot space, so it's pretty cool. You know, it's following the guidelines. We all have to wear masks and stuff, and we're gonna be doing it outdoors. People are still allowed inside. People are still allowed inside of the bar, but what we're doing is outside, like right in the parking lot. So it's pretty cool. You know, it's exciting to get back out there. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really feeling the whole art show vibe right now, but I'm doing it just to get back out there, just to kind of get rid of some old inventory that I have here. But it's exciting, you know. It's exciting to kind of just get back into it little by little, you know.
Jay, what do you? I know you have thoughts on this.
I mean, we've spoken about it before. I think one, I don't picture shows coming back to maybe March, April at the earliest before they even try. But I think there's going to be a few things that are going to become reality, not just with Comic Cons, but with sporting events, like you mentioned, because I've already seen a lot of cons already doing this, because they've been messaging me. One, liability waivers are going to be a thing for everybody. So basically, if you want to go to New York Comic Con next year, and you buy a badge. When you buy that badge, there's going to be a little box there that you're going to have to check to buy that badge that says if you get sick while you're there, you can't sue nobody. Mm-hmm. That's going to be something that's going to be, a lot of cons going to do that. A lot of sporting events are going to do that.
Yeah.
That reminds me.
But at your own risk.
That's like pain waivers. That's what they're going to be.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Metalocalypse death waivers.
Yeah.
That's going to be something that I think is going to be commonplace and become normal. The mask wearing thing is going to become normal. But also, and this is going to affect more on this side of it, either two things are going to happen. There's going to be some shows, like say, Awesome Con is a good example of it, where the convention center they're in, they have a ton of space. So they're able to spread out the tables without losing tables. There's going to be a lot of shows that are not going to be able to spread out the table without losing tables. So you might have a show where the artist alley might have, say, 80 spots. Once they put that distance guideline, that 80 spots is going to drop down to 50, 60 spots real quick. That's less spots for people to get in. That's going to be affecting us also. I think that's going to be a new normal thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I think it's just the reality. And I've said it before. Everybody thinks once it hits 2021, we're back to normal again. It's not going to happen. Like, we're going to be dealing with this all of next year. I think the earliest we might see normal shows is going to be 2022 at the earliest.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're gonna lose a lot of shows next year because we're, in terms of I'm already getting it double booking.
Yeah.
All the shows from this year have been postponing and canceling, and put it into next year. And I've already had to make choices where I was going to be doing 2 shows this year. They chose the same weekend next year. Now I got to pick one of the 2 to do. So now I'm losing shows. That's going to be another reality for next year, because everybody's just trying to figure out, where can I place this show? What weekend can we place this show? So a lot of shows are now double booking, triple booking the same weekend. So next year is not going to be, it's not going to be fun. Like, it's going to be a lot of headaches for a lot of people next year.
I doubt it.
Angel, what do you think?
Dude, I'm just gonna piggyback on Jay, because he pretty much nailed it. Like, this ain't gonna be normal for a long time, bro. Not for a long time. Especially when there's no working vaccine, there's nothing really. They haven't really been making great strides in that sense. You know, people, even if everything opened up, you're still gonna get like maybe 40% of people that are not going to want to come to these shows out of fear, you know? Yeah. And then you're going to have artists with the same thing too. Like, do I really want to be in a position where I'm interacting so much? Like, you guys know how it gets for us when we go to a show. You have so many people at your table. Are you going to feel that way of having all those people kind of...
You don't want nobody touching your shit. Like, everybody's so liberal with touching your stuff, right? Like,
Like, so you're gonna get freaked out.
Taking vitamin C and Purell like it's going out of business.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say and like a water gun and start shooting people with it.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
I'm just gonna be spraying. I'm just gonna be
6 feet.
aerosol myself the whole
6
time.
feet.
But this is definitely not gonna be normal anytime soon. Like I'm gonna agree with Jay in that this ain't gonna be good until 2022 for sure. And that's a big maybe. So
I think Phil has it pretty good here in the comment. It's becoming a hybrid. We've seen everybody have to transfer to this online because you're all in the comfort of your own home, and that's cool. Where cons have been happening like that, things have been happening like that. So now that this is the reality right now, and we'll go to Miranda first. I know you've been doing the flea market. I keep calling it a flea market. I'm sorry. The Greenpoint thing and things like that. And I know Edwin and I are going to go do the thing at Blue Point. What do you think of this online situation?
I think it's awesome. Like I'm kind of introverted. Like I don't like going out that much. So like I think the online stuff is really cool. I never really got into the Zoom thing. Like I did one Zoom chat with my old office, like shortly after everyone was laid off, and that was like the only time I ever really used Zoom. So like this is like the second time, but I kind of like it. Like it's giving an opportunity to meet a lot of other people like through online that like you would never see before.
Yeah.
I'm not very tech savvy either, so like I had a hard time adjusting to it in the beginning. Not gonna lie.
That's fair.
But
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I like this direction because like I'm actually gonna start applying for like online flea markets where I just like put my website in and they just direct whatever traffic. Like this Instagram page is like, I don't know 60,000 followers. They'll be like, okay, this week we have these 100 vendors and here's their websites. Just go online shop. It costs like the same as getting a booth somewhere, but you don't have to go set up, and you know, like you just like stay in your own home and pack orders and ship them out. So like there's added convenience and this new audience that you probably wouldn't have seen in person. Like, oh, I can't make it, but I can go on my computer and I can like browse through your website because it was shown to me by this page.
All right. That's cool. See, I like that's a funky concept. I really like that. Edwin, what do you think about all this online shenanigans?
I mean, it isn't really. It's helped me like on Instagram, like find commissions. But in terms of like the whole like online Comic-Con thing, I don't really feel like it'll be beneficial to an artist. I feel like if they're successful, they're gonna already sell off of their Instagram, their Facebook. You know what I mean? These cons are. Like for example, I wouldn't attend an online Comic-Con. I just feel like it's not the same, man. Like I want to be out there. I want to be shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit here and look at all these local artists or these the artists. I love the artist alley. I love walking around, seeing people draw live. I love seeing them have their artwork on the table. And like for me, I can't shop online for that. It doesn't work for me. I mean, I know it's an avenue for these artists, and if it works for them, great. I'm not going to shun them for it, but like for me as a consumer, it just doesn't work for me. And as an artist, like I said, I promote myself on Instagram. That's where I get all my work from, all of my commissions from. But I feel like if I do like a Comic-Con online, it's not going to help me much, to be honest.
Shadow Rabbit, how about you?
Yeah, man. I mean, onward to victory, right? You got to make the best of the situation, but I agree with him, man. I like being there in person. I'm weird in person. I'm even weirder through a computer screen. I think if you get to meet me, see what I'm doing, I can sell myself and what I'm doing a lot better. And I love just cruising around, seeing everyone's stuff they're working on.
That's fair, but again,
this is what we got for a while. So we'll make it work.
It just doesn't exist right now. I know it just doesn't exist. I mean,
make the best of the situation. It'll be what it is,
I know Angel and Jay answered in the comments, but I'm going to throw this to everybody else. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but Carlos, our esteemed friend here, our new friend here, was curious if anybody else had gone to art and design school or anything like that. And I know Miranda, you FIT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm formally trained, man.
Where were you formerly? Huh?
What's it called? Maryland Institute.
Full sentences, guys. Full sentences.
I never finished high school, so I'm out.
I'm self-taught. You know,
You
I
froze,
learned on my
Pete.
own.
I don't know what
The
just
stuff
happened.
I do is self-taught.
I didn't. Am I losing you guys?
Yeah, I think you are.
There we
Who's
go.
frozen?
Nah, I'm good.
Good
You
now.
were frozen
I'm good,
for a
bro.
second.
I'm good.
I'm
This
just
shit
trying to
got
figure out what
laughed out
happened.
of art school, so fuck them.
I mean, I never.
Oh, there
I
you
went.
go. Okay, there you go.
I went to school for criminal justice. I didn't even go to school for this. Like,
Same, bro.
Nice.
Same. I have a degree in criminal justice.
I mean, I went to school for criminal justice. I never got the degree.
Oh,
Carlos actually went to FIT too.
FIT.
That's where my daughter wants to go for fashion design. She's in high school of fashion industries right
FIT.
now, right across the street.
That's great.
I have a degree in reform. Sorry. Go ahead, Miranda.
You have a degree in what?
I never finished high school until I went to sign up for the Army, and they're like, well, you need a GED. So that weekend, I just took the test and said, here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There you go.
It worked out.
cut out
you
the
know?
middleman.
I don't
Yeah,
think
really.
anyone really needs a degree in art to do art, but like it teaches you a lot of, like at FIT, I went for fashion design. That was my major, but I took a lot of like fine art classes and a lot of like model drawing, and it helped me become a better artist because that was stuff that I wasn't really doing, like studying human anatomy and studying art history. Whereas like the fashion design stuff, it was like I had those skills. I was just honing those skills. And kind of making them a little bit better because I went to specialized high school for fashion.
Even when you're learning that in school, it's like you're being taught by a similar professor. So it's like, where are you going to stand out in terms of like what you want to do? You know, if you want to be a fashion designer, I feel like you have to be really creative.
Right.
Like you can teach it, you can teach proportions and techniques, but in terms of creativity, you can't teach that. You know, if you're all learning from the same professor, where are you going to stand out?
So that's actually something that I really didn't that's something I really didn't like about FIT was I would be taking these like model drawing classes.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, you're not drawing her skinny enough." And I'm looking at her, I'm like, "The girl's 100 pounds. Like, I'm drawing her how she looks." And she was like, "No, you gotta make her legs longer." And I was like, "Why are you telling me like how I should be drawing?" And they're like, "Well, there's like a standard."
They're basing it according to what's popular right now. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I started to get really mad, and that's kind of like a big reason why I wound up leaving FIT because I was like, I'm not try like they're molding artists to be a certain way, and I don't.
Yeah.
Like art shouldn't be like
you gotta know what you want.
right? Like it should just be something to learn and do.
I know.
I
I agree. I absolutely agree. I know. For me, I went to school for radio. That's where my degree's in. Then that sucked. I decided I wanted to be an art teacher, and I got an associate's in art history because kind of it was fun to go to museums and stuff. And then I did the graphic design thing, and because the teacher thing didn't happen, but all the other art stuff I learned on my own. Like no one taught me to paint. And like Edwin said, it's just you love it, so you do it. And you kind of teach yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I tell people that any good art, and this is actually a good question. Any good artist, becomes an expert in whatever medium they're using or mediums. Like Miranda, you're well versed with fabric. Edwin, you're like the Vans Copic guy. Shadow Rabbit, you're the clay guy. Angel and Jay, you have digital skills. I paint and I draw and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think we always have to be learning and getting better at it. We can't just say, okay, I'm good at this and that's it, and you're never going to learn. You're never going to pick up a book or watch a video. Like I know we joke all the time. We watch Master Kim draw out of his brain completely done things, and I'm like, well, cool. I'm never drawing again.
So I actually really like that point about honing these skills. So I'm like I would consider myself like an expert in like garment making, but I did a commission through quarantine and I had no idea how to do it. So I had to like sit there and learn a new skill in order to like complete this commission. Which just isn't something that like FIT or any of these design schools taught me. It was kind of just trial and error.
I mean, one thing that I think about when it comes to the schools, and in hindsight being 2020, I mean, I've always said this, like, if I had went to like high school art and design, right, and like I didn't really know that school existed when I was that young. Because when I was that age, I went to Brooklyn Tech because I wanted to be an architect. But I feel like the fundamentals that I would have learned there, I would have been progressing where I'm at now sooner because I would have had those fundamentals. Because everything in terms of me doing the digital art was all self-taught. It's just me just learning on my own. Back then, there wasn't YouTube. There wasn't, anything like that where you could just look up online and see online tutorials on how to do this and that. It was just me just learning on my own. But I think the school stuff would be great for that in terms of just building those fundamentals. I mean, for me, I put it in the sense of a basketball player. You might be great at street ball, but as soon as you go to play organized ball, you're getting tore up because you got to have those fundamentals. So, it is what it is. But I think that I wish I had went to school when I was younger, to art school. One, I think I definitely would have graduated. I would have a diploma instead of a GED. But I just would have had those fundamentals way sooner than when I finally did get them. And even now, I'm still learning. I'm always learning something new. And like Pete said, you got to keep growing. You can't just stagnate and just be like, I'm comfortable at this level. This is the level I'm going to stay at. Because then you don't go nowhere. Like, you got to always feel like there's another level I could reach. There's another plateau I could get to.
What do you think? What do you think, Louis?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Look, if you're going to go for school or some kind of training, I kind of think you should know what you want out of it. Because first of all, they're expensive, and you're going to be in there with a lot of people who are also vying for the same thing as you. But like, art shouldn't be this competition to be like, teacher's pet or get that one thing. I mean, it is. Everyone's, especially if you're in a similar field, everyone is vying for, that commission, that goal, that job. But if you're going to school young, go to it to figure out what you want out of life. And if you're going to school older, you should really have kind of what you're trying to get out of it. Like, are you trying to get those fundamentals that maybe you're lacking? Are you trying to get the connections in a field or pick up that medium that you think will add to your game?
All right.
Because, a limited amount of time and effort you got.
Amen to that. Now, really quick, we have a surprise special guest. We've been chatting with him about his stuff, and we're going to add him up. Carlos, how are you, brother?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up,
Hey, what's up, Carl?
So this is very cool.
To be fair, we were saying all that not knowing your story. So I mean, that wasn't really fair on us. Like, when I saw you comment about the car accident and stuff like that, I was like, well, shit. Now I kind of get
Yeah.
I felt like a dick a little bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, it was a little bit more complicated than that. My story is very is very complicated in terms of the fields that I went in with art. But early on, of course, being in Manhattan, I went to the High School of Art and Design, like I mentioned. And while I was in high school, I also was working in advertising. So in High School of Art and Design, a lot of people are extremely talented, and some of those people are people that were also working at Disney and Marvel while we're still students in high school. So it's a very interesting time period. It was back in the 80s. And then we grew into other art fields as we went to college and so on. So I went to FIT. So yay. Now, what was interesting about FIT was, and for most of you who probably don't know, that school was like 95% women.
Yeah.
So being a straight guy, and it was very difficult to focus on art when you're so distracted with women. So
well put.
So I was trying to study like oil painting, and they didn't have a very good program for that. except for the senior level where they had some pretty good teachers.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't learn squat about oil painting in school because A, the distractions, and B, the teachers weren't all that great.
Well, you know, they have these like good professors that are famous, but then you go and have a class with them, and they're like claim to fame is that they're famous. Like I had this professor that was like the main illustrator of Women's Wear Daily. He was like this big guy in the fashion industry, and like he was just such a terrible person.
Yeah, they weren't that good in terms of being.
He's just like when you come into class, he was like, "Hey, like you're just gonna be a dry cleaner because you suck." And I was like, "That's not constructive criticism, my guy." Like, and then you're gonna give me an end project anyway. So like, what did I really learn here? Is that you just say things because you can, because you're a professor at FIT.
I left FIT after I went to Italy with FIT, and then my mind was blown just seeing the old ancient art, Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci and all that type of art. So I came back with a renewed energy to want to do more art, and so I quit FIT as soon as I returned, and I went to School of Visual Arts. And the thing in School of Visual Arts is that the teachers are like super ridiculously famous. I mean, if you ever see movies from Sony or Columbia Pictures and they have the woman holding the torch with the big cloud in the back.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of my teachers.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So
all right.
Right. So these teachers are in museums. These teachers are in galleries and all that stuff worldwide, and they really knew how to get your passion in the art to come out. And that's where, so I know a lot of us probably didn't study art in a traditional kind of fashion. You just kind of did it on your own, and that's fantastic. I can tell you that being surrounded by what I would call, let's say, master artists, really puts fire under your ass in terms of getting better faster. And learning learning as much as you can from them, and then going on your own, and then having your technique and having your skills come out. And I ended up leaving once I got hired by Marvel, only to find out that Marvel was going out of business at the time.
Oh wow!
Right place, wrong time.
So I got hired to do a painted book, and it was going to be Iron Man and I think Silver Surfer and a couple of things going on there. And it was destroyed because Marvel was being sold to a movie mogul. And so again, that time period was really crazy in terms of the art field and what you're going to do with yourself as an artist and stuff like that. So that's kind of the stuff that happened at that time. At the same time, I got picked up to do movie stuff, and I became an art director for film. So all your art skills aren't just focused on art. It can be focused on a lot of creativity things, from logo design to whatever you want it to be. You basically allow yourself to still use that creativity you have and become whatever you want. So I was able to work on music videos, award-winning music videos, and TV shows, and music commercials, all sorts of stuff, all because of art.
That's
amazing. I didn't study any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
so I just want to throw that in a little bit because I know we're talking about drawing and stuff like that, but it just, there's really no limit once you're into the arts as to what you can do with it.
Let me ask you a question, Carlos. You mentioned that you were trying to start basically working digital. Have you started working digital?
Yeah, so I have an iPad. Like I'll sketch nudes. I'll sketch. My
you mean like Procreate? You mean?
Oh, sure. There's actually, I have like a dozen different art programs, and each one is designed for different intention. So there's art programs for like comic book drawing, where the tool sets are designed for comic books. There's tool sets for painting, like Procreate is good for that.
I love Procreate.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. There's tools like, hold on. So I got my iPad Pro here, and I guess if we're going to talk about digital.
Well, my main question is, before you start getting into that, was you coming from a very traditional background, how do you feel now working digital? Like, how do you feel it translates?
Well, I'm not gonna say that I'm a great digital artist. I'm nowhere near. There's other artists that I know that were oil painters that went digital, and you can't tell the difference. I'm a late bloomer because I was very into the tradition. You know, when you get influenced by something like the masters in Italy, or in Germany, or in France, or even in the museums here in New York, and then you try to convert to some type of digital, you're so caught up with I can practically make my own oil paints, right? Or I can make my own fresco paint from scratch, and now I can just pick up, an Apple Pencil and duplicate that. Like, come on, So your mind. I was very against computers in the early days. Photoshop, I don't want to hear about it. I can do that by hand, because I didn't know when I was in advertising, there was no Photoshop. There was no Illustrator. There was no Quark Express. There was no InDesign. So we did everything by hand. And that's what I learned in high school. So in high school, I knew about agates and picas and, rubber cement. And, you did your lines with a ruling pen. I don't know if you know what a ruling pen is. A ruling pen is basically a pen, and the tip of the pen is like this. And in between, you put your black India ink. And then you can control with the knob how thick that line is going to be. And then you draw it. And if you mess up, a big blob of India ink will fall on your paper.
Oh, man.
So we used to do coupon books by hand, where you had the dotted lines.
Yeah.
All those lines were done with a ruling pen, where you maneuver the thickness of the line.
Yikes.
To super precision. And if you mess up, you start all the way from scratch.
Damn.
You can't erase that ink.
Yeah.
Now you can just hit undo and start all over. So, so that's where I came from. I mean, I know I'm like old, but
I'm 46, bro. I got you.
Oh, I beat you. I'm older than you.
Still,
I could be your dad. I could be your father.
Alrighty then.
And so that's the world I came from. So when it comes to like doing a computer, I was like so resistant. At first, I had to buy a computer and then understand it, and then I geeked out on it. And now, what I do now, I sell live streaming equipment. So the very stuff that you're using right now to do this show. So StreamYard, I have my own, account where you can get it at a discount and all jazz. I sell all the hardware, software, lights, cameras, all that type of stuff for live streaming, from television production all the way down to your first tattoo is done with India ink. That's some hardcore stuff right there, Chad.
How much time did you do, bro?
I know, right? He's a hammer and India ink.
That's going to the Polynesian.
Is done in Indian ink. I want to know how much time they spend in the pen, bro.
That's funny.
That's intense. That's intense. That's good. I kind of want to see what that tattoo looks like, Chad. Wow. That's definitely down.
That ink back in the day when they would tattoo it would bleed, no?
So Carlos, what's your feelings now when it comes to digital art? Like I said, being a hardcore digital guy, in terms of considering it art or a viable form of art or so on and so forth.
Tangible style of art, or
because no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll get your thoughts.
All right. All right. So one of the things I started doing probably in the past 3 to 5 years is I started interviewing illustrators live. So people who are traditional painters, who are probably very well known and famous from painting. An example might be, I don't know if you've heard of Dave Dorman.
I have.
So yeah, Dave Dorman is known for doing the Marvel Comics comic covers for Star Wars, Aliens, and countless other types of art. So and so being able to talk to him, he taught himself how to paint. And so the interview was fantastic because he still paints traditionally. He'll probably never go digital. And I wanted to kind of get the fact that all these traditional artists are soon fading away, and soon they'll just be your digital artists. And so I wanted to kind of imagine being able to interview Michelangelo or Rembrandt and having at least some video footage about them talking about what it feels and what it's like before it's gone.
See, I don't think traditional art is going anywhere. I think, though, a couple things. First off, I paint a lot of my stuff digitally, and the guys know I think art is art. You still got your hands in it. You're still heart is still in it. Your brain is still in it. But I don't think a guy standing in front of a 4-foot canvas is going away ever. I just don't, because I'm staring at one right now, and that I need to get to work on. You know, I just don't think a person with a pen and paper is going anywhere. I think they're working
in the professional. In the professional world, it's harder to get hired now as a traditional artist.
Well, yes.
I think.
No, I get that, but I think you have to kind of be a hybrid. Because I know Angel and Jay primarily worked, and I'm using them because they're my best examples. Because I've seen them do, I've showed it tonight, incredible digital stuff. But at the same time, I've seen them grab a pencil and do incredible sketches. And, you know, I might dabble in color and I play with Procreate and I do a couple things. But I think there's a melding of things. Things are going to be a hybrid, I think, and that's where it's going to go. But at the same time, nothing's going to replace. Like for a job, I get it. If you want to, you know, for a magazine or for a website, I get it. Digital is definitely the way to go. But the Met's still going to have, you know, big ass canvases and things like that.
Well, yeah. So I think one of the things
It's got to get colored in by hand,
right?
I hope so. Most of the illustrators that I knew that were oil painters, I mean, yes, they can still paint oil, but they kind of do that for themselves now, more so than getting hired to do it. And that's where I get kind of sad about it. You know, even comic book artists. You know, most comic book art now is done digitally. Now, it doesn't mean that the skill isn't there. I mean, clearly, I wish I had the skill to paint digitally the way I paint traditionally. And then I could probably develop that skill, but so I do get jealous of some like really good fantasy artists that I look up to who are digital, and I'm like, man, that's hot, you know, because you can do all these different effects now and make it a little bit more dimensional in a different kind of way, and there's a certain sharpness to it that it's hard to make with oil. And I don't know if you know who Boris is or Frazetta is.
Yep,
those were
absolutely.
people I knew. Those are people I knew. So Boris and his son and I went to college together, and so he's a phenomenal artist. Frazetta I met through the Comic-Con circuit, and his kids own some of my art. So, but now, you know, that it's, for me, it just seems that fade away, and now this new sharper, crisper art is here. And now I'm looking back as a fan again.
Right.
And when I was a kid, I was a fan of the traditional art. Then I got to do the traditional art, and then now I'm a fan of the digital art. So I feel like I'm kind of starting all over again, but it's cool because that's the way it should be. You should always be fascinated by the creativity and what people can do with creativity.
I wish a lot more people had your attitude and feelings when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Because I've been at shows where I have traditional artists around me, and basically they made it their mission that weekend just to shit on me, because I was a digital artist and they're traditional artists, and I've been on that side of it. So that's why I was asking you hearing your background. Like, you were hardcore traditional, but then you mentioned digital, so that's why I want to see like someone who was real digital, like real traditional, like what stuff you talking about, like old school stuff. Now messing with digital. it's nice to hear someone who has those views like that, who understands art is art.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand a reason why most traditional artists kind of like, because with digital, there's that whole undo, just like I talked about advertising, and when you have honed a skill to do, let's say, a perfect advertisement by just using razor blades, pens, and glue, and if you handed those tools to somebody with Illustrator or Photoshop, they'll never be able to do it.
I definitely get that side of it. Yeah.
Right. So I guess for them, there's a higher value in terms of the physical art, because now, even though it gets printed, I never gave a physical painting to any of the publications, with the exception of Disney and Warner Brothers. I own all the art that I've ever painted except for them. And so being able to hang that up is something to be, when I just recently got divorced, my daughter honors my artwork because she can hang it up. And that's a little bit harder with digital. Yes, you can print it, but there's something about it that's missing in comparison to a physical piece.
That's like what Pete said, like that traditional original art's always going to be there, especially for legends.
Sure.
Like, it's just something, like even I have original paintings from artists that I like, that I bought the original, because it's just something about having the original. So it's like that stuff is never going to go away.
But I do think that there's an arrogance if like I said, I look at some sci-fi fantasy art that's completely digital that I'm just floored by. And
that's the perfect word, arrogance. That's the attitude that a lot of people have when it comes to other things, which is just sad, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like you really need to be open-minded. For example, I'm a traditional artist. I do a lot of traditional stuff, but I've been trying to get into the more like digital side of it, and I'm not against it. I feel like art is art, man. Like, even if you get the undo button, like if you suck as an artist, you're not going to be able to do great art. Digital, traditional, it doesn't matter what you do. I feel like digital can help traditional artists. Like, you can make prints, you can make digital drawings, make prints, help your hustle out. You know what I mean? It doesn't just have to be where you're spending 2-3 months on a drawing or on a canvas and selling that and living off of that. Like, you can make digital drawings on the go, like on your break, on your train ride to work. You know what I mean? Like, it just helps you. Like, carry around your iPad everywhere you go. Draw, sketch.
I do.
Keep your hand sharp. Keep your hand sharp. That's it.
Man, I really.
Wait, Angel, really quick. Chad had an answer for you. He did not go to jail, but it was done with a needle wrapped in thread.
Fair.
But he did not go to jail.
But I just wanted to talk about. I've been kind of laid back here listening to this exchange, man, and these are the conversations I live for. Yeah. As Jay said, me and him are predominantly digital artists. We can do traditional as well, but we get so much shit for being digital guys. And
I've seen it.
To see a traditional guy say, at least to have the open mind of it, like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, Pete will tell you, like, I've done things traditionally just for the sake of doing it, just to shut people up, because it pisses me off after a while. You know what I mean? It's just, it's my industry, it's my industry standard, and I do enjoy doing it. So, like, I do love doing the digital, and I keep at it. So, it's a shame that we can't just let people thrive in their art form, and let them express themselves how they see fit within their art form.
So keep this in mind. In every form of anything that has to do with media, this isn't an occurrence. So keep in mind, for example, if I look back in the day of Star Wars, they used practical special effects.
Right.
They had to build a model, they had to animate it, put a hand up there in the ass of the puppet and do stuff like this, right?
Kind of like what Ramona's saying here.
But and if you look at claymation, for example, and now fast forward to today, and it would be done digitally.
TGIF.
And that's the difference.
Yeah, Weta
So
Workshop, they do a lot of stuff.
the artwork has shifted for it to be cleaner. The artwork has shifted to be able to give you different type of atmosphere that you were never able to replicate in traditional art, and it happens in all forms of media, in paintings, in drawings, in comic books. You know, the colorist back in the day was not able to do the type of dimensions that he can do now in the comic book. And the same thing goes for video games. I mean, look at video games now. There are movies, right?
Yeah.
3D animated characters in a movie where they're jumping off a building, and it's not even a stuntman. It's just some 3D character. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's not even real. It's a digital version of Spider-Man that's jumping from building to building. The world has to improve and modernize in everything. We don't even go to the store anymore to shop. So digital has taken and replaced that too. So whenever somebody spits on you about that, keep that in mind. That all you're doing is being part of the progression of where it's going. They can poo-poo on it all they want, but they're now in the past and they're not going to get anywhere with it, you know, any more farther than you can. And meanwhile, they're still sitting in a movie theater watching, Terminator 7, where nothing's even done with actors anymore.
Yeah, where that whole movie was pretty much done in front of a green screen.
I freaking
Right.
love
I mean, who watches?
Yeah, but they didn't write a script for it either, so whatever.
Wait, so I
hasn't said
really
anything
like
in
that
10
comment that
minutes.
Phil made, because digital art still is a lot of work. Like,
Yeah.
I have trouble with digital art because it's like learning an entire new medium.
Oh wait,
Art. Like,
you mean-
it takes a
It
lot
is.
of time and effort and skill.
you mean to say I don't sit here and tell the computer what to do and it does it for me?
Right.
I mean, Phil
Here's
has
an
a
example.
key point where it comes like people think if you work digital, you press a button and then it just happens.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's-
It's like they think it's a filter.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, there's someone creating it.
And to be fair, there are plenty of, digital art out there done by people that's just a filter.
Sure.
So it hurts people that do it legitimately. So like I get where people are coming from with traditional guys when they start hating on it, but you don't just lump what I do with what a print jockey over there in the vendors is doing, just printing right off Google and slapping a filter on it, and then shitting on me, basically saying I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I see it all the time. And water has a way of reaching its own level. It'll all balance itself out. And like I know where
I don't feed into it. I don't go back
Right.
and forth with them.
Exactly.
I just let them talk, and I just
do their thing. Yeah, exactly.
I'm
going to put a little spin though. I know because we were talking about the technology and the digital and everything progressing and this, that, like, I'll give you a perfect example. I know my mom dabbled with seamstress too. So we're going to go into Miranda's world right now. She has a sewing machine downstairs in our basement that's about the size of a Buick. It's an old Singer. It's not going anywhere. I'm sure yours, you could take it anywhere probably. You probably have a portable one, a smaller one.
Yes.
Miranda? Yeah.
It's about this big, and it's all computerized.
Yeah. My mom's is this big thing. You actually have to, two of us have to pick it up because it's like cast iron and steel. And then we have to use motor oil to lube it and stuff. And it's got pulleys and shit. And
So at
it weighs
FIT, the industrial size machines are like no joke.
yeah.
Like we used to use the big Jukies, which are like the size of an entire table, and there's a motor, and you need to have a mechanic or someone who studied it fix it for you. So there's so many different things you can do with seamstressing that like each machine is different. Like my machine can do embroidery, which is why it's good to have it computerized. But like the stuff at FIT, I can sew like heavy duty fabrics, which doesn't do so well on this machine.
Right. So those big monsters are still Okay, you're not using them every
I
day,
want
but
one of
they,
those big monsters in my house. I just can't fit it.
there you go. Fair. That's
I would
I
love to have one of those.
I
They're
feel
One of
like
my first-
I'm trying to see it, but because of the screen of the white, all I can see is the hair. Like I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
it's
a
hard
good look
to.
at it.
It's harder. It's hard for me to kind of get it to, because you can't do like what you normally do, which is try to get a
Just
white
show-
balance.
yep.
But basically, it's one of my first digital sketches, and you shouldn't be able to tell it from pencil, you know. And it's just one of the miracles of something like an iPad, where now you can basically carry your digital sketchbook and, like you said before, sketch wherever you want, whatever you want, and stuff like that. It's insane. So, yeah, I don't have anything else to show you there, but but yeah, I mean, I totally love the fact that digital can do certain things that I've never been able to do before myself. You know, a lot of the sci-fi fantasy art that I do is magic and things glowing and stuff like that, and digital kind of can help you really get that thing that you have in your head across more so than anything I've been able to do with paint.
Now I'm going to take this again another direction too. Because we're looking at Shadow Rabbit there and all those wonderful toys that he has behind him. Playing with clay and sculpting really hasn't, like, the tools have changed and been modernized, but and you know the science behind it, but you're still putting your hand in clay and molding shit, right? Basically.
That's exactly what I'm doing, man.
Yeah. So that hasn't changed in thousands of years.
I mean, they're probably using actual shit and stuff at one point, but you know, I'm using different types of waxes and, you know, the polymers and epoxies and stuff like that. But I think art is art. You know, anyone who wants to stigmatize a certain type because it's, you know, new or old or whatever, it's all crap. You know, you take what you like, and it's just the way to translate something beyond words, right?
Right. No, exactly. Well, because I brought you up because a memory just flashed in my head from in high school. I took a ceramics class in high school, and I've played with it, and I did it in college too. But in high school, we had two wheels. One was one was motorized and blah blah blah. But then my teacher her husband was a carpenter, and he had actually built her a kick wheel.
Yeah,
one of those old and like the old school, old Japanese style. And I'm thinking
man.
how the
Kick
technology.
through a wall after that.
Yeah, exactly. You're just kicking a wheel to throw on the wheel, and you're just kicking. You're using your own. You're using your own the pottery wheel. You're using your own foot to spin it. And now you got motors, and you're setting the speed digitally. And now
you know how
you're
pissed off Toshi was when he's like, "Wait, you push a button?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you're telling. Even now, you're probably telling Siri, lower the RPMs or some shit like that. You know, but it's all still the same, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it the old way. You know, Dominic Sperano, he does it the old way.
Yep.
You can do it the new. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you know, I mean, even paint. I mean, when they developed acrylic paint, someone was pissed off. You know, anyone who's afraid, you don't put Pandora back into the box. You know, once something's been created, it's out there.
That's
you don't
the
have
quote
to use
of the
it.
stream, by the way. That's the quote of the stream. I was waiting for the quote of the stream. I thought it was going to be the ship thing from before, but I think you don't put Pandora beds. We're going to have a poll.
Thank you, Lois.
I think I'm gonna do a Facebook poll tomorrow. So, and we'll figure that out. You don't put Pandora back in the box. I think we're gonna have to do that because that was pretty funny. But yeah, no, I adore that.
I zone out when I'm talking, so I don't know what I'm saying. But it comes from the heart.
No, you're on it, bro.
I never have to worry.
That's the way to be, brother.
You're on it, bro. You're right on it.
Now, are you? So, are those all your sculptures in the background?
Yes, sir.
These are all his little monsters.
But you know, most of these are someone else's IP. But
have
you done stuff for Marvel? Yeah.
Oh no, I just do stuff. No, sir. These are all for private collections, and I'm not affiliated with anybody at this time.
Quick legal.
Now, in the early days, in my early days, we used to do what they call turnarounds. Which is basically the artwork for the sculptor. We used to do Spider-Man and Venom for Toy Biz.
Awesome,
so we used to do the artwork.
Yes, you get all the angles on it.
and the back, and then the sculptor would then use those sketches to create the actual pose of whatever we were drawing.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man.
That's
You know, I have to sculpt stuff to draw it. I mean, I can, you know, I can do traditional art and stuff, but I always found it that I like the feel of the clay. I like, you know, it's tactile. It's it just helps me think.
Well,
so
if I
if I want to draw something, I make it and I'll draw it off of that.
Well, I'll sketch out, let's say, the dragon or the creature that I wanted to paint, and I would sculpt it and texturize it and paint it, and then photograph it and use that photograph as the reference for the artwork.
That's awesome.
That's deep. Well, was it Stephen Rube works like that, or at least he used to. He used to do it. Or Paulo Rivera works like that too.
I learned that actually from Boris.
Oh, okay, there you go. Now, really quick, because we're
That's
talking
a good
about
place to learn it.
yeah, right. We're talking about mediums and things because I know right now Edwin works in Vans. I don't mean like he works in a van that says I have cookies. He works in Vans and the sneakers.
I'm working on Vans right now. That's why I'm so distracted. I'm actually working on one right now.
Now,
yeah, what you got there, bro?
Here's my question.
Hold on.
Right, hold on, let's get you to full screen. And then while you're showing, I gotta add.
Oh,
yes,
filthy, man.
it's our boy.
Filthy.
All 5,000 episodes. But the question is, now years ago, obviously you're not painting on Jordans or anything like that, and you're using brand new streamlined Copics and things like that. But do you see yourself maybe in the future, like transitioning and maybe let's get some Chuck Taylors and some acrylic paint or things like that?
Yeah, eventually. I've never shied away from trying something new. I was gonna get into painting this year, but I feel like the Vans just took over.
Right. Well, you're killing it. You're super hot with it, though, bro. Every day it's another fucking pair of Vans, and I'm like, they don't make it. I'm just pissed off because they don't make them in my size. So
yeah, it just took over. But same way I got with drawing. Eventually, I get bored of this, and I'll try something else. I'll take on painting or anything. You know, I'm not afraid to try something new. You know, that's why, like I said, I've only been doing this since January. And for now, I like it. But once I get bored of it, once I really find something else, then I'll really.
The fire is hot, bro. Keep going. And
Yeah,
speaking
thank
of
you,
hot, Chad, who again, I got a commission coming to him. Chad,
I can hook you up.
Oh, there you go. So have you in the past, or can you? Is basically the question, Lewis.
Yeah. No,
So
I'll sculpt whatever someone asks me with, man. If it's too weird, I might charge a little extra, but you know, no judgments here. I've absolutely done cosplayers, bro.
Lewis,
hit me up on Instagram.
Yep, there you go. Chad, that's his Instagram flowing under you right there. So keep an eye on that so you can get it and then get in contact because that's what the pit's about. We're trying to get everybody together. We're trying to get people into each other and talking and melding things and. Boy, it's basically I'm making a big menudo, and see now he's showing off.
Yeah, we're making big.
Now he's and Miranda's turned into the director now. Okay, cool. No, I need from Venture Brothers. I need to see him.
Oh, dude, they canceled it the other day, and I was
and I'm so pissed off about that. That's why I wanted to talk to
save him.
Yeah, seriously. That's
good.
so cool.
Yeah,
we might need a Dr. Girlfriend statue.
Oh, dude, I've been meaning to make a ton of their characters for years. I just keep getting distracted.
We might need a Dr. Girlfriend. That would be cool.
You got it. It's coming.
It's on the list. That's what I like to hear.
Oh, man, it's on the
That's
list.
what I like to hear. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. We got into a really good talk. I'm really happy. Carlos, thank you for asking. I didn't even think of it because I've had a week. So I didn't even think about bringing you on and chatting with you about that stuff, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you commented too about everything that's going on. I hope you got a little inspiration from the we have a plethora of talent in this
I
room.
can tell you why I got caught up in it is because growing up in school, in art school, you're surrounded by artists. Your atmosphere is artists. Every time you went to dinner, lunch, anything like that, everybody would compete as to who could draw the waitress. When you're in the subway, we all would draw anybody who was asleep in the subway. So you're always surrounded by it. You're always like I did so now I do these live interviews, and one of the interviews I did was a friend of mine that I went to high school with. and he did a movie, one of the Tinkerbell movies. And one of the things that one of the things I enjoyed doing, and right now he's doing stuff for Disney Plus with anyway, somebody that was in the Matrix. And long story short, the interview is just us talking about how it was to grow up as artists in high school, and now he's a Disney director. And so the pathway is what we're trying to do is influence the new artists, because it's hard. Part of the conversation that you're having is how difficult it is to be in this kind of field, and that goes for anybody. And so having the story of someone who I grew up with to where he's succeeding can help influence people to find their passion and follow through. Because the biggest thing that you hear as an artist is starving artists, or the lack of respect when somebody wants to do a drawing for them. I get it all the time.
Look, I might be big, but I know about the starving artist thing.
Yeah. So, when somebody finds out that I do some kind of artwork, the first question always is, "Hey, how you doing? Can you draw me or paint me?"
My answer is always
yes. Do you have $5,000 to $10,000?
See, I'm not. See, that's where we're gonna split up a little bit. But
Carlos's value is a little bit different than my value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Well, look, I value myself. I know I value myself the best, but this is the way I talk about myself a lot. And I think I call myself. I used to call myself indie, but I kind of changed that a little bit because indie comic books and my comic books are on the shelf right now, so I'm not really working on them. I like to call myself underground. I'm not published. I have one little drawing in an Aspen book, and that's it. But I'm not a published artist. But that's why that's why we're doing this show. That's why we all kind of gravitated to each other, because we're trying to support each other and back each other up. And one day, I hope that Miranda's masks cost $10,000. I want to see. I want to see Edwin's Vans. I want him to get a deal with Vans and start doing production lines. I want to see kids skateboarding with his Vans. I want to see fucking Shadow Rabbit's clay everywhere. I just want to, I want to see his toy line. I'm already seeing Jay everywhere. It's annoying, but and his NASCAR stuff. But I want to see Angel doing all this stuff. What's up, Carlos? I'm sorry.
I apologize, but there's something that triggered when you were speaking about this. So, all right. So yes, every piece that I've ever done since high school has been published. And I'm not saying that to brag. The reason I bring that up is because the one thing that I can say is I suck as an artist compared to other people that I knew. And the biggest difference between, let's say, looking up to other artists that are incredible and yourself is how aggressive are you going to be to enter the business world, right? If you want to use your talent to make money, you have to learn parts of business. It's not about the talent. The talent is there. It doesn't matter the level of talent. As long as you have a talent, it really is how aggressive are you in business and twist it into the talent. So here are you drawing on sneakers. Well, believe it or not, I mean, with the right connections, you can say, hey, look, we can get a license from such and such company and try to get artwork actually done on the sneakers, or masks, or sculptures. I mean, there's ways, especially in the digital world, of monetizing your love of art.
Yeah. We've talked.
I know those big-headed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Again, James and I, and Shadow Rabbit a little bit too, have traveled the roads the last couple of years doing shows, and we've talked about that's actually been the best way. And I've talked to a couple cosplayers too on how to monetize. There's, you have to be a business person if you're doing it. Even if you love it and it's your hobby and stuff like that, you still have to be a business person. It's part of the grind. It's not my favorite part of the grind, but I think most of us in this room, I think all of us in this room actually are well versed with it, where we can say, okay, I know what my time is worth. I know what my product is worth. I know what my supplies are worth, and I know what I want to be worth. And if you're just, I think the difference is thinking in the micro and in the macro. If you're just thinking about what's in front of you and what you're doing, yeah, okay, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But if you're thinking about where you want to be, the macro, like I'll use my example with C2E2 again. My goal 3 years ago was to be at C2E2. So I put my head down and I got to work making as much fucking artwork as I can, learning more and more and getting my shit done. I went to C2E2 this year. So I think that's where you got to have the right mindset, and you have to know that yes, it's love, yes, it's art, yes, it's awesome, but there's a little bit of work. You got to treat it a little bit. It's like your dog. If you don't respect your dog, he's gonna bite you in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, you have to if you truly want this to reach the world, you have to start thinking in terms of business. And you don't have to treat it in terms of business of how you're going to get hired by somebody else. Sometimes you can go just skip that part, and how are you going to take that art and be your own business. So an example is I had a friend of mine, again, high school, college. He started a company called Art Asylum. And Art Asylum used to do some of the original anything but action figure stuff for Star Wars, and became big. He started doing certain action figures based on movies, and Todd McFarlane's toy company started competing with him. Right. So, these are examples of people who took what they know and just decided to just say, you know what, I don't care what the industry is doing. I'm doing my own thing. If you ever go to the stores, we had those big-headed characters of just about any comic book character.
Pop. The fucking guy has rights to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody thought about that and said, "Hey, look, this is what my artwork looks like. Imagine if I can have your license and make every character you've made in this kind of way." So there's ways of just taking what you know and stepping outside the box and making it a business.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And again, I think Shadow Rabbit brought it down. Like and Edwin talked about it too. It's the for the love of the game aspect. Like we love what we're doing, and there are ways to like. Some people want to stay in that indie underground girl. I know I don't want to, but I'm building my business. I also, everybody's situation is different, and that's the thing. But speaking of situations, I'm looking up in the little corner of my desktop here, and it's 11:30, and I'm sure people want to eat, and people got to do stuff, and we got all sorts of things. So I'm gonna start turning the wheels into the go home direction for us, guys. Not that I don't want to go, but I love you guys, but I'm sure you guys have shit to do too. And Edwin just wants to turn this off and get to work on his sneakers. So, Carlos, we're going to start with you, sir. Thank you very much for jumping in. I'm glad we got to talk. Where can everybody find you? Where can everybody find you online or Instagram or wherever so they can see your amazing work?
Just this name on any platform.
There you go. Carlos Phoenix, and then we'll give you a little. There you go. Carlos, thank you so much. Edwin, I know we and just stick with us and we'll say the big goodbye at the end here in a second. But that's your Instagram down there. That's where you do your business. Yes, sir?
Yeah, Shared Macho. That's pretty much it. Just IG. I'm not on Facebook or anything like that. I was never really on social media until about 2 years ago.
There you go.
And it really just took off. Yeah.
You're better off.
Yeah.
I will see you at Blue Point at the end of the month.
Yeah, man. I'm
okay. That's gonna be fun. I like working with that company. I like the people that they put down, and I got a mask, so we'll be all right.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be nice to get out there again.
Yeah, it really is. Now let's go over to the Shadow Rabbit. Lewis, I'm gonna get your Instagram out under there, but where can everybody find you and your playful hands?
On the Instagram is what I've been active on. I also have a website, shadowrabbitart.com. But I was pretty opposed to social media until about 2 years ago, and now I'm on it all the time.
There you go.
So
and Chad, that's the information you want to get him to do that. You guys should talk about doing that thing. We lost Jay, huh? Oh no, we lost Edwin. Okay, he left. Miranda, darling, where can everybody find you?
You can find me. I'm most active on Instagram, but you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I just made a TikTok. I don't really use it, but if that's your thing,
TikTok is crack. TikTok is crack.
But also, I got Rainmentsbymiranda.com. I'm currently working on it. I'm gonna try and publish it by next Friday. So if you're looking for a mask in the future, like prints and stickers and stuff, check out my website because it'll be much easier to order through there. So
fabulous. Angel.
Yes, sir.
Where can people find your funky ass?
Pretty much at it's right there. Bam, this side over here. Sorry, I'm There you go, bam, right there. So that Instagram right there, _son of a saint on Twitter, and Saint by Design, the art of Son of a Saint on Facebook.
All right, then we go. We get to Skynet here.
Everything's there. Atramessor art. It's always some form of Atramessor art. Most platforms is just Atramessor art. And IG is the only one that has the underscore. And I'll throw my links in the comments.
There you go. Awesome. And we'll back out of there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pete. As you can see, at Pete, PEAT 11717 is where you can find me on Instagram. It's where you can find me on Twitch. It's even where you can find me on Facebook. So try to keep it easy for everybody like that. I'll do that under there. I want to thank everybody for jumping in. All of you guys, I love you guys to death. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. I want to thank everybody who's been watching. We've been steadily at between like 15 and 20 people watching, and that's people rotating in and out. So, yeah, I really appreciate you guys on Twitch, on Facebook, watching us. Keep watching us. Follow the Twitch. Follow the Facebook. We're going to keep doing shows. Next week, I'm going to have a really special show. We're going to have the entire team from Lochtahasi Press. It's a comic book out of Florida that you guys definitely want to check out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I got a lot of other things planned for a few things. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys very, very much. Again, everybody, have fun. Be safe. We'll see you out there. Follow everybody around. And that's just too big of a comment, Jay. Fuck that. I can't do that. But thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
I'll be
fair, baby.
Yeah, I understand, but goddamn. I'll be posting last week's pit and this week's pit. I will be posting and uploading them onto YouTube this week. So stay tuned for that. I'll be dropping links for that on all the social medias. Guys, you are all welcome to come back anytime, whenever you want. I mean, I appreciate everything. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so
Guys,
much.
everybody on Twitch and Facebook, thank you so much. Everybody say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace out.